Chapter 1343. The 6 stars of the Great Void Stage was too powerful. However, she definitely didn't even investigate Lin Xian and the others, or rather, she didn't put much effort into it. She only thought that they were in the Celestial Venerable Realm, and perhaps slightly more powerful Celestial Venerable Realm cultivators. So what if they killed level 6 or level 7 Great Virtual Realm cultivators? As long as they sent out a slightly more powerful Great Void Stage cultivator, they should be fine, right? In fact, that was indeed the case. Under normal circumstances, if this woman made a move, Lin Xian and the others might be instantly killed. However, she didn't have any killing intent towards them. She was ordered to come and take Lin Xian away, and then destroy the faces of these women while she was at it. In fact, sometimes killing someone was easier than hurting them. For example, she came over and directly released a spatial seal, and then a spatial explosion. Most likely, other than Lin Xian, everyone else present might be instantly killed, and Lin Xian and the others might not even have time to release any power. However, she underestimated Lin Xian and the others, and she didn't have absolute killing intent. But no matter what, she had already lost her chance. As long as she released a domain for Lin Xian and Wang Xintong, then at least she would definitely not be able to crush Lin Xian and the others. To Lin Xian, the difference of 2 stars was nothing at all. Boom! Terrifying lightning power bombarded the vicinity of the woman. Moreover, Lin Xian released a spatial seal. In terms of spatial power, Lin Xian, who was now about 1 star of the Great Void Stage, was definitely not weaker than this woman who had already reached 3 stars of the Great Void Stage. Therefore, she couldn't break free from Lin Xian's spatial seal in a short time. Then, the power of a divine rank martial skill landed firmly on her body just like that. The dust slowly dispersed, and the woman half knelt there with blood at the corner of her mouth. Whoosh! At the same time, a saint-rank spirit weapon appeared in Lin Xian's hand, and he directly appeared beside the woman with a flash, and then placed his sword across her neck. At the same time, another woman appeared in the distance. No matter how careless they were, they couldn't have just sent a Great Void Stage 6 star, even if it was a space. Somewhat interesting. The woman's mouth curved slightly, and then she appeared beside them. Following that, her aura surged and spatial power was released, once again enveloping everyone together. Lin Xian's pupils suddenly contracted. F***CK. Another space? 9 stars of the Great Void Stage. Is this a fight? Is she determined to kill them? Lin Xian held his sword horizontally, and a trace of blood appeared on the woman's neck. She's your companion? Let us go or I'll kill her. Lin Xian glared viciously at the woman. Who do you think I'm faster, kill? With a wave of her hand, Murong Yu and the others suddenly broke through Lin Xian's spatial energy and appeared in front of the woman. Then 6 daggers flew out and hovered next to their faces. However, these 6 kill Void Stage experts. Kill them? Kill, so what? Even if they couldn't fight, they wouldn't yell and scream in this situation. Either they believed in Lin Xian, or they would all die together. What was the point? It was better than yelling here and making Lin Xian lose his composure, right? You can try? And don't even think about using space to take her away. Although your cultivation is high, you might not be able to beat me in terms of space. Do you believe me? Lin Xian's eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at the woman. Do it. The woman controlled by Lin Xian frowned slightly, then shouted. The woman controlling Murong Yu and the others also frowned slightly. Hurry up. Don't F***king scream. Lin Xian gave the woman a tight slap. Her cultivation was higher than Lin Xian's, but her life was in Lin Xian's hands. Moreover, Lin Xian would definitely be faster than her if he attacked, because this sword that could take her life at any time had already caused her neck to bleed. Let's take a step back. I won't kill them, so you let her go. The woman looked at Lin Xian and said. Lin Xian let out a long sigh of relief. He could tell that the relationship between these 2 women was pretty good. Even if they weren't sisters, they should have been friends for many years. Bai Luo. The woman controlled by Lin Xian frowned suddenly. The demon god had ordered them to destroy their faces. If she couldn't do it for her life, then both of them might. Let her go. Lin Xian said. Then she withdrew her space power. Murong Yu and the others' auras surged as they landed beside Lin Xian. You can let her go now. She looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Heavily injure yourself, Lin Xian said. The woman laughed. Then, she gathered a force in her right hand and slammed it on her chest without any hesitation. Puff, she spat out a mouthful of blood. Then she staggered and half knelt on the ground. It wasn't a problem for her to be heavily injured. Lin Xian and the others wouldn't kill her. At most, they would fail the mission and escape. But she couldn't die. The woman controlled by Lin Xian gritted her teeth. Lin Xian was speechless. How ruthless. All right, I only have one question now. Which demon god temple are you from? Lin Xian looked at them. You'll know when you come with me. The woman said. Do you take me for a fool? Tell me. Aren't you going back on your word? You should first cough, let her go. The woman looked at Lin Xian with blood dripping from the corner of her mouth. Tell me, Lin Xian said coldly. She clenched her fists. At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared in the void. Lin Xian raised his head to take a look, and his pupils shrank abruptly. This wasn't AF*** King Heavenly Dao Realm? What the hell? What the hell was this? The woman in the void raised her hand. Then, under Lin Xian's control, the heavily injured woman vanished. Following that, he appeared beside her. Incompetent and indecisive. To be threatened by a few Empyreans, you have truly embarrassed the demon god. The two women lowered their heads. Lin Xian. Ling Ying and company subconsciously approached Lin Xian. Lin Xian clenched his fists. System. Was there anything in his system? Apparently, there wasn't. At the next instant, the woman raised her hand and sent Morongyu and company flying. When the snowstorm in front of Morongyu and company vanished, they realized that Lin Xian had vanished. Lin Xian. They searched for Lin Xian with all their might, but they could not find any trace of him. What do we do? Contact the three factions. All right, they did not know why, but clearly, they did not want to kill Lin Xian. This was because if they wanted to kill Lin Xian, they could have done so directly. He was at the Heavenly Dao Realm. They could easily die. Therefore, Lin Xian should be fine for the time being, right? Chapter 1344. At that moment, Lin Xian was sitting on a beautiful snowbird as he sped through the sky. Beside him were the three women. Lin Xian was impressed. Which faction was this? Even the Heavenly Dao Realm was mobilized. What the hell? Furthermore, this direction was very far. They were not heading inland, but somewhere even more remote. The North Pole was already the northernmost part of the continent. It was the northernmost place humans could come into contact with. But now, where was the place further north? Lin Xian was completely clueless about this. He had no idea. Furthermore, the three women did not control him at all. They did not even tie him up. But on second thought, it made no difference whether he was tied up or not. There was a Heavenly Dao here, so he could not stir up any trouble. Where are you taking me? Lin Xian asked with a frown. The second Fey God Temple. The Heavenly Dao Realm woman said indifferently. It was different if the two women did not say anything in the past. Now that Lin Xian was in their hands, there was no need to hide certain matters. The second Fey God Temple? Lin Xian knitted his brows tightly. Fuck. This second Fey God Temple. He did not have any hostile relationship with it, right? Could it be that the SSS-ranked faction they destroyed was from the second Fey God Temple? That was not right either. They should have killed him directly. Why would they bring him to the second Fey God Temple? Lin Xian took out his cell phone. Shwa. The next instant, his cell phone appeared in the Heavenly Dao Realm woman's hand. I'm only sending a message to my women, Lin Xian said. The woman did not say a word, nor did she pass the cell phone to Lin Xian. Left Protector, the mission His Excellency the Fey God gave us. That's your mission. My mission is to keep you alive and take Lin Xian away. Your mission has not been completed, so how His Excellency deals with you is your own business. The woman said indifferently. We understand. Lin Xian frowned. Is your Fey God a woman? Lin Xian asked. They looked at Lin Xian. Lord Demon God didn't let us touch you, so you don't have to worry about your safety for now. The woman of the heavenly law said indifferently. I'm not worried about my own safety. Women. Could it be that between them, maybe? Although the possibility was low, Lin Xian was not afraid of women. If worse comes to worst, I'll teach you a lesson with my pink spray. Hey. Lin Xian looked at the heavenly Tao woman. Since you won't send it to me, then help me send a message to my women. Tell them that I'm fine, and ask them to continue doing what they should be doing. Lin Xian said. The woman didn't give Lin Xian any reaction. Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that I'm friends with your demon god? Lin Xian said arrogantly. The woman glanced at Lin Xian. Then he decisively turned back. Lin Xian, fine. Lin Xian closed his eyes and released the law of creation. How could he forget about his law of creation? Then he directly released the law of creation, typed a message and sent it out with his phone. Although the phone was in the woman's hands, Lin Xian's law of creation was omnipotent. The woman frowned as she felt a force. Then she looked at Lin Xian and asked, What did you do? Nothing, I just sent a message to my women. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. The woman glanced at Lin Xian's phone and threw it to Lin Xian. Lin Xian had an intuition that he should be fine. If something really happened, they would have already done it. It should be because he was valuable to them that they spared his life. What did Lin Xian discover? These people didn't do anything to him, and their attitude seemed pretty good. On the other side, Morongyu received a message from Lin Xian. Lin Xian wants us to continue with the assessment. What? They all gathered around and saw the message Lin Xian sent them. That means Lin Xian will be fine? Possibly. Morongyu nodded. Then let's believe in him. Xiao Xingyue said. Morongyu glanced at the women and said, Okay. Since Lin Xian isn't here, we'll add his share and complete the third round of assessment. He'll be fine. They chose to believe in Lin Xian. If Lin Xian didn't say this, they would be very worried. But since Lin Xian said it, they chose to believe in him. Time slowly passed, and the sky slowly darkened. A huge island in the sky appeared in front of Lin Xian. This island in the sky was much bigger than Earbook's. Moreover, it was actually flickering with a fiery red light in the dark night. This island was above the sea, and the flickering light shone on the surface of the sea, making it sparkle. I say, why are you looking for me? I'm just a puny heavenly venerable. There's nothing that you can set your eyes on. Moreover, I'm still participating in the Tianwu conference. Can't you let me go earlier? Lin Xian sat there helplessly. The woman from heavenly law frowned. It was true. Along the way, his mouth hadn't stopped. He had been blabbering all the way. If it weren't for the fact that her demon god seemed to be interested in this Lin Xian, she would have already made a move on him. Moreover, her demon god had specially instructed her not to hurt this person called Lin Xian. Therefore, it was obvious that her demon god valued him. She ignored Lin Xian. Whoosh! Following which, they landed on the huge island in the sky. Lin Xian looked around. It was a very beautiful place. Their demon god was definitely a woman, because everyone that Lin Xian could see was a woman. Just like Earbook's 10th demon god temple, a place where women lived didn't like men here. Or this demon god was a man. He was an old pervert. Therefore, the entire island was filled with women. They were all his women. This was also possible. However, if it was a man, Lin Xian felt that he was finished. Follow me. The woman from heavenly law glanced at Lin Xian and said indifferently. Lin Xian helplessly followed behind her. Then they entered a very large and luxurious hall. Lin Xian looked at the huge hall and was secretly speechless. Panic? Lin Xian didn't understand why. This was clearly a very nerve-wracking situation. A human being caught alone in the demon god temple should be very nervous, right? However, Lin Xian inexplicably didn't panic. He also didn't understand why. At that moment, in front of Lin Xian was a throne. A tall and slender woman was standing there with her back facing him. She was wearing a white dress with cherry blossoms on it. Lord Demon God, I've brought him. The woman from heavenly law bowed respectfully and said. Chapter 1345. Lin Xian was a little dumbfounded. Tell me, why did they capture me and not tie me up or kill me? What do they want to do? To be honest, Lin Xian really didn't know what was going on. F***ck. He was really drunk. He didn't know if this matter would cause them to lose the qualification to enter the God's awakening door. No. He had to choose to believe in Morong Yu and the rest. Even if Lin Xian wasn't there, the 6 of them definitely wouldn't be weak. Moreover, they had the advantage. And Feng Ling's team needed 9 people to share the experience. All of you can leave. It was a very charming, very noble, and somewhat ethereal voice that came from the void. It felt as if the person was right in front of you. But the voice seemed to come from all directions. Of course, Lin Xian knew that some very powerful people could be like this. Lin Xian was really drunk. Yes. Then, the few women left and slowly closed the door of the hall. Lin Xian frowned and raised his head to look at the noble woman in the white and cherry-pink dress in front of him. This woman's waist was simply too devilish. It was even slimmer than Xiao Linglong and the rest's waists. But how should he put it? It couldn't be said that her figure was better than Xiao Linglong and the rest. It could only be said that this person was slightly slimmer and very tall. Although it was only the back view, it was definitely an extremely beautiful woman. In front of him, the woman slowly turned around and casually sat on the throne. She crossed her legs, revealing a pair of extremely beautiful long legs. Then, she leaned her elbows on the edge of the throne and supported her cheeks. Those ordinary eyes turned fiery red when she saw Lin Xian, as if they were burning with flames. Lin Xian. So beautiful. Really, Lin Xian was used to all kinds of top-quality women. His immunity to beautiful women was still very high. But in the end he still lost. Her beautiful hair was as soft as feathers. Her green eyes were like the waves of the night sea. There was a faint but enchanting white mist, which made her even more charming. Cherry lips, willowy eyebrows, white skin, and a delicate oval face. She was as beautiful as a fairy who had walked out of a painting. She was so beautiful that she didn't look like a human at all. You couldn't say that this woman was as beautiful as Linglong Shui and the rest. It could only be said that each had their own merits. Bing Lingyue was cold, but to her friends, she had Lin Ye's gentleness, intelligence, and elegance. Linglong Shui, but she and Bing Lingyue were 2 different temperaments. Bing Lingyue was a good wife and mother, Lingyue's goddess. Of course, she was also changing into a good wife and mother. And what about Yi Renbing? Elegance and scary. The woman in front of them gave off a different feeling. Her every move was a little like Yi Renbing's, unrestrained and casual. But she was different from Yi Renbing. As for Yi Renbing, her favorability towards Lin Xian was slightly lower. After all, they had only known each other for a short time. But she had also reached 89. And this woman's favorability, Lin Xian frowned. 0 to 93. Didn't that mean that her favorability towards him was at least 0, and at most 93? Then why was it like this? How could a favorable impression be so erratic? You're really trash. Huangxi rested her chin on her hand and looked at Lin Xian. She let out a lazy, ethereal, and noble voice. Lin Xian. What the hell? She called him trash the moment they met? Yes, he was indeed trash to a powerhouse of this level. But wasn't it a bit wrong for her to call him trash? May I know why Senior has brought me here? You don't recognize me? The woman's eyes narrowed slightly. Lin Xian frowned. We haven't even met before. How can we know each other? Pfft, she sneered. As expected, a scumbag will always be a scumbag. Even if he's not the previous him, he still can't escape the definition of a scumbag. I think Senior's words are a bit wrong. You can call me a scumbag, but you can't call me a scumbag. There's a difference between a scumbag and a scumbag. Moreover, I'm not a scumbag. Lin Xian indicated that he shouldn't be a scumbag. Of course, in some aspects he was, but he really intended to be responsible for all the girls around him, and not abandon them. Chapter 1346. Huangxi stood up slowly and walked toward Lin Xian step by step. Lin Xian frowned. How should he put it? He couldn't understand what this woman was saying at all. However, Lin Xian felt that he wasn't in any danger. Anyway, that was what he felt. Huangxi walked in front of Lin Xian. The 2 of them were very close. This woman was so tall that she was almost as tall as Lin Xian. Although she was wearing very special high heels, she was definitely more than 7 meters tall. She had a very special fragrance on her body. Do you know how much I hate you? Her deep pupils were a fiery red, as if they were burning with flames. She stared straight into Lin Xian's eyes, not avoiding his gaze at all. Instead, Lin Xian was a little afraid of her gaze. Lin Xian. Hate me? Big sister. What did I do? Can't you make things clearer? Ridiculous. She saw Lin Xian's evasive gaze and sneered again. Then she walked slowly and said, It's been 800 years. It's been 800 years. It's not a long time. To the demon race, 800 years is just the blink of an eye. But to me, every day is torture. As for you, you coward, you don't know anything. She stopped and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian. No. Senior, did you catch the wrong person? Lin Xian asked in confusion. This had nothing to do with him at all. Did she King catch the wrong person? Coward. She sneered. Lin Xian. No, Lin Xian frowned. What the hell was this? Lin Xian frowned. Senior, why did you catch me? If there's really nothing else, I hope you can let me go. I still have very important things to do. I will definitely thank you in the future. Lin Xian cupped his fists. You want to find your woman? Yes. Men. Then, a woman appeared beside her. Go get rid of those people. Huang, she said indifferently. Yes. What? Lin Xian shouted. How dare you? Lin Xian's brows furrowed as a vicious aura surged from his body. Huang Xi's footsteps paused as she looked at Lin Xian. I don't dare? Do it. Yes. In the next moment, Lin Xian's aura surged. If you dare, I'll fight you to the death. Don't think that you are very powerful just because you are at the heavenly Dao realm. I can similarly kill you at the heavenly Dao realm as a heavenly venerable. Do you believe me? You want to kill me? The woman looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. You tried to kill my men first, so I'll definitely kill you. Lin Xian might not have the ability to do so, but he would do it at all costs. When he went crazy, no one could compare to him. All right. I want to see what qualifications you have to make a move. Come on. Huang Xi stood in front of Lin Xian. Shua, lightning coiled around Lin Xian's body. Huang Xi extended her hand and flicked it slightly. The lightning around Lin Xian vanished. She shook her head. You want to kill me with just this? What a joke. She returned to her throne and sat down. If there's anything you need me to do, tell me. I only wish that you won't touch anyone around me. You are very strong, but I also have existences around me that aren't weaker than you. If they come, you might not be their match. Lin Xian said as he stared at her. The corners of Huang Xi's mouth curled up as she laughed. You may leave. Yes. The woman vanished from her spot. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. You should go and rest as well. Come to the back garden when it's dark. Lin Xian frowned. What was she up to? All right. Lin Xian walked out. Outside, the sky was already bright. When Lin Xian walked out, a young lady brought him to a certain room. Huang Xi stood up and gazed into the distance. 800 years ago, when you found out that I was a demon, you despised me for being a demon and left me. In the end, you chose a human empress. I can understand that. After all, in your eyes, the human race and the demon race are on opposite sides. However, her body was surrounded by hostility as her eyes narrowed. Today, 800 years later, you have more than one demon woman by your side. Lin Mo, you are really a hypocrite. She clenched her fists tightly as her delicate body trembled slightly. There was anger and sadness. Her eyes were actually filled with tears. Previously, she didn't know who he was because she had been staying here. Only when she saw him in the mirror did she know. After knowing, she sent people to investigate, including Linglong Shui, Yi Renbing, and the others she already knew. In these 800 years I have been here. You can't imagine how long these short 800 years have been. I joined the 10,000 Demon Alliance. I wanted to make hypocritical creatures like humans disappear from this world. Cowards like humans don't deserve to live on this continent. But, later, she found out that she couldn't do it. This was also why in the end, Icy City didn't have the demon god temple to organize millions of demon beasts to attack. She hated this person. She hated him so much that she wanted to kill him. She even wanted to cut him into pieces, but I will give you one more chance this time. This is the last chance. I hope that this time, you won't disappoint me. She gradually loosened her clenched fists. I want to ask, do you know who I am? Lin Xian followed a beautiful girl in front of him and asked. I don't know. The girl said indifferently. Then why did your demon god capture me? She didn't kill me. She didn't even hit me. Why? I don't know. Lin Xian scratched his head. Then who is she? Lord Demon God. I know it's your Lord Demon God. I want to know why she called me a coward and wanted to kill the women around me. Why? I don't know. Lin Xian. Ah. What the hell? We're here. She brought Lin Xian to a room and opened the door for Lin Xian. Lin Xian walked in. This room was very big and beautiful. It was as big as the first floor of a large villa. When did I meet your Lord Demon God? Lin Xian asked. I don't know. Then the girl closed the door and left. I give up. I really give up. Lin Xian kept pacing in the room. Then he lay on the huge bed and took out his phone. However, he realized that there was no signal in this place. Following that, Lin Xian released the law of creation in an attempt to create a signal. However, he discovered that there was a force in this huge room that actually isolated his power. F***ck. Lin Xian cursed and then lay on the bed in a daze. What was going on? Did he find the wrong person? She shouldn't have made such a low-level mistake, right? She knew him? When did this happen? Annoying. Chapter 1347. Lin Xian was very helpless. He couldn't even chat with the girls. It was good that he didn't talk. He didn't want to disturb them. He hoped that they would be fine. Then they could lift him up. Lin Xian felt that he trusted them. He helplessly took a shower. Then he lay on the bed and watched TV. The TV wasn't connected to the internet. Lin Xian watched cartoons that didn't use the internet. Damn it. Lin Xian couldn't stand it anymore. He walked around the huge island. Fortunately, the girls' attitude towards him was quite good. They didn't force Lin Xian to stay in the room. However, there were always two girls who followed Lin Xian all the time. They told Lin Xian that he couldn't go anywhere. It was beautiful, but Lin Xian wanted to play with his phone. However, they didn't let him play with it. As for Lin Xian's phone, they didn't take it. They knew that this person had the law of creation. They just had to keep an eye on him. This place was very beautiful. Lin Xian could even fish. However, he wasn't in the mood. He just wanted to play with his phone, chat with the girls, and report that he was safe. He couldn't play in that room, but he could do it in other places. However, he couldn't do it at all. The people following him wouldn't let him fish at all. How could he fish? He wasn't in the mood at all. Lin Xian was still worried about Ling Ying. He was also confused here. In the end, Lin Xian went back to his room in anger and fell asleep. Damn it. Can't I sleep? The sky gradually darkened. Tonight, this beautiful island was even more beautiful. It was decorated a little. There were even some ribbons and lights. It was just that there weren't many of them. However, they still decorated this beautiful island. Huangxi walked out. Tonight, she was unbelievably beautiful. She was wearing a light white dress that looked like a luxurious dress. It was really slim-fitting. Her S-shaped curves were simply invincible. She was wearing high heels, and because one side of her dress was slit, it revealed her straight, slender, and fair legs. You could tell that she had put a lot of effort into dressing up tonight. Her hair, her nails, her skin, and even her face and long eyelashes had all been dolled up carefully. She smelled so good that it was as if he was going to die. Huangxi's beautiful eyes swept over. Isn't it too much? She said faintly. At Master's request, we specially dressed up very little. The girl lowered her head and said, I said it's too much. After saying that, Huangxi walked forward. Yes, I understand. Then she quickly sent people to reduce the number. Then Huangxi took a look. This would make people feel that she didn't specially ask her people to decorate this place, so that it wouldn't appear so exaggerated and deliberate. Master, is there anything else? The girl walked by Huangxi's side respectfully. Huangxi arrived at the exquisite and beautiful back garden. At this moment, there were also some colored ribbons, small colored lanterns, and other things in the back garden. At night, it was extremely beautiful, and it was definitely meticulously arranged. The place made the light of every colored lantern especially perfect. Then there was a table in the beautiful back garden. On the table, there were delicious dishes that looked one after another. There were even dozens of girls who were busy here. Some were dressing up, and some were just decorating that dish to make it look more beautiful and more appetizing. Huangshi frowned slightly. There's still too much here. Yes. Reduce the number of dishes here. Master, do you think this is to your liking? Huangshi walked over and tasted the dishes. Is the taste too strong? Huangshi asked. No, master. The taste of the dishes here. I specially sent people to catch a top human chef. According to this top chef, the amount of seasoning is increased according to the common taste of the human race. Huangshi nodded. Even though she didn't care about him and hated him so much, from the way she put in so much effort today, it could be seen how high that person's position in her heart was. In the past, would she have considered these things? She slowly stretched out her hand and said lightly, "The wind tonight is a little strong. I'll ask the great elder to cast the spell. And the moon tonight, it doesn't look bright enough and there aren't enough stars. I'll ask the great elder to solve it. Okay." Huangshi then sat there and moved her slender index finger slightly. Then two girls came over and massaged her shoulders. She glanced at them and said, "This wine is also from the human race, right?" "Yes, I specially bought it from the human race at a high price." Huangshi stretched out her hand and a girl poured a glass of red wine and handed it to Huangshi. Huangshi shook it slightly and took a sip. She couldn't help but frown. She had never drunk such a thing before. She had always drunk wine brewed by her own people, other races, and even the elves. That was what was called wine, but this bottle of wine that cost a human 1,000,000 yuan. Why was it so disgusting? Master, is the taste wrong? It said that the rich humans like to drink this red wine. Maybe I'm not used to it. You should like to drink it. Huangshi supported her cheek with one hand and tapped the other rhythmically with her slender and fair fingers. Is the room ready? She asked again. Yes, it's ready. The bath water has always been at room temperature. The 7 colored flower petals are also ready. Also, the pink light that Master ordered has been installed. Huangshi was speechless. She sent people to investigate. Did all the men in the modern era like that kind of style? But it didn't matter. She gave him a chance and at the same time she gave herself a chance. She hoped to do her best. These girls didn't know what their demon god wanted to do, but they could guess what it was. Of course they were shocked. This little human wasn't very handsome, and his cultivation wasn't that heaven-defying. He wasn't that outstanding, so why did their demon god fall in love with such a person? They really didn't understand. But there must be a reason, so they didn't dare to ask. At this time, the wind became weaker, and it was a gentle breeze. It was very comfortable, and the slight dark clouds in the sky disappeared. More and more stars peeked out, and the moon became brighter. It's about time. Huangshi glanced at the height of the moon, and then said lightly, "Do you want me to invite young Master Lin?" Huangshi shook her head. "Let him come." Then time slowly passed. Half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. Huangshi sat here and waited for 2 hours. She came at 7 in the evening, and now it was already 9. The group of girls beside her just stood there. Damn it. He's not coming? Huangshi frowned. She told him to come at night, but he still didn't come after waiting for so long? Was he purposely angering her to go against her? Bring him here. Huangshi said. Yes. Chapter 1348. And what was Lin Xian doing? Sleeping like a fool. For the past few days he had been engaged in high-intensity battles every day, so he did not have much rest. Anyway, he did not sleep. At most, he would recover his strength, and then he fell into a deep sleep after this kick. He did not set an alarm, and then he overslept. When the girls walked in and saw him lying there with his arms and legs spread out, they could not help but twitch their mouths. Their demon god had been waiting for him for so long, but he was sleeping here. Heavens! What kind of existence was their demon god? How many people on this continent could make her take the initiative to wait for him for a few hours? Seriously, young master. A girl walked over and gently pushed Lin Xian. Little Ying, don't press down. Heavy girl. Young master, it's time to wake up. Lin Xian opened his sleepy eyes and looked at her in confusion. Then he sat up in confusion and looked at the sky outside. F***ck. Lin Xian quickly jumped off the bed. It was dark. F***ck. It was dark outside. It was over, it was over, it was over. That woman told him to go there in the dark. Now it was already dark, and it looked like it had been dark for quite some time. Why did you only wake me up now? Lin Xian quickly ran out. The girls stood rooted to the ground, dumbfounded. Big brother, did you tell anyone to wake you up? Huangxi sat there and supported her chin. Then, she heard the running figure behind her. Phew! Lin Xian ran to her side and let out a long sigh of relief. Then Lin Xian glanced around. F***ck? What was the meaning of this? The back garden was so beautiful, and the table was full of delicious food. This wouldn't be his last meal before he went on his way, right? That shouldn't be the case. Why bother? However, Lin Xian felt that he shouldn't be in any danger. At least for now he felt strange. Although his freedom was restricted, and he wasn't even given a phone to play with. But, they treated him quite well. This place was meticulously decorated. The dishes on the table all looked delicious, and the presentation of the dishes was especially beautiful. Senior, what do you mean? If you have anything to say, just say it to me. You don't have to decorate this place. Lin Xian looked at the woman. F***ck. What was the meaning of this? The way this woman was dressed today, especially when she was wearing a dress with a slit and her legs crossed, that kind of visual impact was simply unbearable. Huangxi frowned slightly. It wasn't set up. It's always been like this. She said faintly. Really? When I came down to play today, I saw that this place wasn't like this. There were even some colored lights. Lin Xian swept a glance over and said, Huangxi, that's because you didn't see it clearly during the day. You only noticed it now that it's lit up at night. Huangxi continued to be stubborn. It couldn't be helped. Wasn't this just being tsundere? Really? Lin Xian really didn't care. Sit down and eat. Huangxi also stood up. Then, she brought along a fragrance that made Lin Xian feel relaxed and happy as she walked to the table and sat down leisurely. Lin Xian frowned slightly. What was this woman trying to do? She didn't kill him or beat him up. She said a bunch of strange things that he didn't understand. Now she even wanted to treat him to a big meal. If you have something to say, just say it directly. Why did you have to do this? Even Lin Xian was confused. Lin Xian then sat across from her helplessly. Little Qing, you stay. The others can leave, Huangxi said faintly. Yes, master. Then, the group of beautiful girls respectfully walked away, leaving only a sweet-looking girl who looked very young. Lin Xian glanced over. Great virtual realm. I was worried that you wouldn't be used to some of the food, so now the table is filled with ingredients that are very common to the human race. However, the people who made these dishes are all my people. You can try it. Huangxi glanced at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes and said faintly, Ah, okay. The confused Lin Xian picked up his chopsticks, and then picked up a piece of meat that he didn't know what it was. Huangxi's beautiful eyes had been watching Lin Xian, paying attention to his reaction. How is it? She asked. Not bad. Huangxi frowned slightly. Not bad? She wanted to hear that it was delicious, not that it was not bad. Then, Huangxi tentatively took a bite. Wasn't it delicious? It was indeed not bad. The texture was excellent. To Lin Xian, the so-called texture was not that important. He valued taste more. Lin Xian felt that it was too bland. He liked the kind that had a strong taste. He liked spicy food. Then, Lin Xian glanced at the dishes on the table. He didn't see many dishes with chili. Even if there were chili, it was the kind that wasn't spicy. Try this again. Huangxi said. Lin Xian tried again. Not bad. Huangxi frowned. What do you mean by not bad? It means that it's not bad. Huangxi. She was very unhappy. She wanted to bring out the chef and beat him up. This group of people had been cooking for an entire afternoon, and in exchange, they only got 2 dishes that were not bad? But she felt that it was not bad. Then, Huangxi let Lin Xian try another dish. It was also not bad. Her frown deepened. This. She pointed at the delicious lobster. She didn't dare to say anything else, but she dared to say that no one could make seafood better than them. They lived on the sea, so they knew what was the best food in the sea. Lin Xian was convinced. What was this woman trying to do? Did she ask him to be her food connoisseur? This is not bad. Lin Xian nodded. Lin Xian didn't ask for spicy seafood. Of course he needed spicy seafood. But this kind of seafood was more original and delicious. Huangxi heaved a sigh of relief. Then Lin Xian's next sentence made her unhappy again. It just feels like ordinary seafood. There's no difference. Huangxi. Then she gave the girl beside her a look. That girl quickly poured red wine for Lin Xian and Huangxi. Young Master Lin, this is the red wine we bought from the human race. It costs 1 million per bottle. Huangxi heaved a sigh of relief. This should be okay, right? Lin Xian looked at the red wine bottle in the girl's hand and couldn't help but cough. What? Just 1 million per bottle? What's wrong with that? Sister, this red wine can't even be called red wine. It can only be called a beverage. You spent 1 million on something that costs 8 to 10 yuan per bottle? Did you guys get cheated? Really, this was the so-called red wine that cost a few yuan per bottle. It even tasted a little sweet. Huangxi. She lost her face. She, a demon god, lost all her face. Ah. She glanced at the girl, and the girl quickly lowered her head. Despicable humans. So cunning. They lied to her. Chapter 1349. Huangxi coughed dryly. She felt a little embarrassed. Although it was her subordinate who bought it, she wasn't the one who bought it, so she wasn't the one who was cheated. However, it was her subordinate, so it could be understood that she, as a demon god, might not know? Or maybe her subordinate didn't know and it was her fault for not managing it properly. Lin Xian was also a little embarrassed. Firstly, he didn't know what this woman wanted him to do. Secondly, it was indeed quite awkward. It looked delicious and was indeed not bad. Many people would like it, but it just didn't suit Lin Xian's taste. For example, some people preferred light food, while others preferred heavy food. Even if light food was delicious, they just couldn't get used to it. Huangxi glanced at the girl, and the girl quickly lowered her head. Maybe it just looks cheap. Huangxi then slightly tidied her hair and said, "How can that be? When I was young, I didn't have money. There were a few special days when I bought this kind of red wine. I even bought it personally. When I was young, it was only 5 yuan a bottle. Now it has risen to 8 or 10 yuan. Lin Xian. Huangxi. Was there something wrong with this person's brain? Couldn't you give me some face? Can't you just say something along the lines of maybe? Huangxi was furious. Are these really not delicious? Huangxi felt that she had already put in a lot of effort to get someone to prepare it. It's okay. She didn't want to hear that it was okay, but it was delicious. These are the recipes given by the top human chef. My subordinate made it, so it should suit your human taste. Lin Xian frowned. Suit their human taste? Did she cook this meal for him? But why? Maybe it just doesn't suit my taste. I like spicy food, so no matter what it is, if it's not bad, then it's delicious. Go ask that person to make another table of spicy food. If it doesn't work this time, kill him. Huangxi slightly waved her slender fingers at the girl, and the girl quickly walked away. Lin Xian. I say, senior, why? We've never met before, have we? You captured me, beat me, scolded me, and imprisoned me. I'll admit it. You even decorated the garden, dressed yourself up, and hired someone to cook for me. Why? Lin Xian asked in confusion. Could it be that she likes me? Yes, these things made Lin Xian feel that she did indeed like him. However, his charm was indeed great, but it couldn't be so great that such a great demon immortal would fall in love with him, even though they had never met before, right? Huangxi frowned slightly. This sovereign has already said that I have never specially decorated the garden, nor have I specially hired anyone to cook for you. It is only this sovereign's own people who cooked for you. Normally, this sovereign will also eat these things. Furthermore, this sovereign has never specially dressed up. This is also how it is normally. Huangshi said stubbornly. Lin Xian. All right. I'll eat. You are not allowed to eat. I've eaten all the dishes that were specially prepared for me. Bang. She smashed the table with her palm. I already said that I didn't make it especially for you. Lin Xian. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Okay. He nodded. Huangshi exhaled, and then waved her hand. A girl walked over. You have 2 hours. If you can't make 20 dishes, you can be killed. Huangshi said indifferently. Lin Xian. Yes. Huangshi glanced at the ground and then looked at Lin Xian. What do you want to eat? This sovereign will let them cook. No. There must be. Lin Xian. Then I want to eat beef fried noodles medium spicy. Huangshi. What else? Seafood noodles, more seafood. What else? Coca-Cola. Bang. Huangshi smashed the edge of the chair she was sitting on and then stood up, scaring Lin Xian. Is that all you want? Huangshi's voice was a little angry. To be precise, it was a little resentful. Lin Xian. Lin Xian was stunned for a moment and then shrank his head. He was a little scared and said weakly, No, I like this. Didn't you ask me what I like to eat? Huangshi took a deep breath. Do it. Yes. Another girl who was waiting for orders hurriedly walked away. No, senior. I want to know what you want to do. If you have something to say, just tell me. If I agree, I agree. If I don't agree, I'd rather die than submit. Can't we talk frankly? Lin Xian. He felt that she liked him or cared about him. Her favorability was also 0 to 93. However, Lin Xian couldn't be sure. Then why was there a possibility that her favorability was 0? This sovereign just wants to treat you to something. Then why? Shut up. Huangshi shouted. Lin Xian. She's crazy. Then the two of them were silent for a while. That, Lin Xian said weakly. Speak. Are you lusting after my body? Lin Xian asked softly. After saying that, he was already prepared to be beaten. Huangshi was slightly stunned. She didn't say anything. After a while, she looked at the starry sky and said, The stars have changed. As expected, that slut is still that slut. Lin Xian scratched his head. Do you want to remember the past? Huangshi looked at Lin Xian and asked. Lin Xian frowned. The past? What do you mean? The past life. Huangshi said. Lin Xian. What the hell? The past life? He knew that things like cultivation were especially mysterious. However, Lin Xian had never come into contact with things like past and present lives. He didn't even know whether such things existed, or where people went after death. Lin Xian didn't know all of these. However, if this was the case, Lin Xian might be able to explain some things. Why was it that he didn't know her at all, but she seemed to have a good relationship with him, as if they had known each other for a long time? She even treated him to a big meal and deliberately dressed up. Could it be that he really had a past life? Were they lovers in his past life? Lin Xian transmigrated from Earth. Therefore, he had the right to believe in such things. Including, Lin Xian thought of Bing Lingyue. Didn't this empress also make him feel baffled? It was just that, he was here in his past life, then on Earth in his next life, and returned here in this life. Was it like this? Damn. If that was the case, Lin Xian felt that he was somewhat invincible. You know me in my past life, right? Lin Xian asked. Yes. Then I don't want to remember. Lin Xian shook his head. Huangshi frowned. Why? Chapter 1350. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. He was completely at ease. Although he couldn't remember, he was sure that he was fine. Wow. What kind of dog was he in his previous life? What kind of people did he date? One was a demon god, and the other was the empress. Amazing. But thinking about it, it didn't seem that bad now. He had demon gods, goddesses, and so on. Lin Xian smiled and said, It's very simple. The memories of this life are simply too troublesome. I've only lived for a few years, and I already have so many troubles. If there's another life, won't I be worried to death? You're still as smart as ever. Huangxi glanced at Lin Xian. Lin Xian sat on the stone bench and said, "Thank you for the compliment." "You think this lord is complimenting you?" Lin Xian. Huangxi also sat over there. Cough cough. Lin Xian coughed and looked at Huangxi. Damn it. Lin Xian was originally panicking to death, but now he wasn't panicking at all. Then, Lin Xian stretched out his hand and gently pressed on Huangxi's hand. He could clearly feel that Huangxi trembled slightly, but other than that, she didn't have any other reaction. "So we were lovers before?" Huangxi said faintly, "Yes." Lin Xian's eyes suddenly lit up. "But you abandoned me after having sex with me." Lin Xian. Shua. Lin Xian instantly retracted his hand. "What the hell? Does this have to be so King exciting? What the hell is she doing? She couldn't have. That big sister, listen to me. Either you found the wrong person, or even if it is, it's him, not me. Please don't misunderstand. He is him and I am me. We're not the same person. That person is a retard, an idiot, a beast. Senior, you abandoned such a beautiful woman. You must be blind." Lin Xian hurriedly said. Damn it. Lin Xian's survival instinct was extremely strong as he cursed. Huangxi. Huangxi frowned slightly. What he said actually made sense. He was himself, and the current Lin Xian was Lin Xian. They were the same person, but not the same person. If his memories could come back, he would want his past memories, then they would be the same person. But he didn't want that. Huangxi's beautiful eyes stared at Lin Xian as though she was thinking of a reason. "Get up," Huangxi said faintly, then turned around and walked forward. "What?" "Follow me to a place." Lin Xian then followed behind her. Lin Xian didn't panic at first, but when he heard her say that her predecessor had abandoned her, he was really scared to death again. No wonder her favorability towards him was 0 to 93. Lin Xian was afraid that because of his wrong words or something, her favorability would be reduced to 0. Perhaps she would do something crazy. It was really hard to say. Senior. Huangxi walked forward without saying anything. Speaking of which, in the past. Apui, not me, but that person in the past. Other than being a blind person, what else was he like? Lin Xian asked. Although he didn't want to know about those memories, he was still quite curious. Lin Xian's question pulled Huangxi's thoughts back to more than 800 years ago. Her footsteps stopped. Huangxi's beautiful eyes looked into the distance. Very talented, very warm, very carefree. Lin Xian sighed inwardly. Sure enough, it was really good. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't be able to pursue such a person. Very heartless. Lin Xian. We're here. Huangxi looked ahead. Lin Xian looked over. It was a stone, a rather large stone. Its surface was very smooth and it was sitting there. Obviously, Huangxi had moved it over from somewhere. However, it could be seen that this stone was very carefully protected by her. It wouldn't be blown by the wind, nor would it be hit by the rain, nor would it be exposed to the sun. Lin Xian walked over. There were 2 palm prints on the stone. Other than the palm prints, there were also some sword marks. This is the place where we first met, in the immortal ocean. At that time, I was seriously injured and it was you who saved me. This is also the place where we swore an oath of undying love. At the same time, it was also the place where you left me. It was also the place where you attacked me. Lin Xian. Wow. Huangxi turned around and looked at Lin Xian. Then she raised her hand and Lin Xian flew over. Following which, his hand directly pressed into the palm prints. When Lin Xian's hand pressed into one of the palm prints, a golden radiance flickered. At the same time, Lin Xian's hair and clothes fluttered wildly. He slowly closed his eyes. 10 seconds later, the golden radiance disappeared. When he opened his eyes again, his gaze had changed. His aura had also completely changed. Huangxi stood there quietly and looked at him. Lin Xian, no. He withdrew his hand and straightened his body with his back facing Huangxi. What? You don't even want to look at me? Are you feeling guilty or disgusted? Huangxi's cold voice came from behind. However, he could feel that there was a faint tremor in her voice. Lin Mo slowly turned around. He was Lin Xian. Lin Xian was him. It was the same soul, just different memories. It was just that Lin Xian temporarily controlled Lin Xian's body, or rather his previous body. Cece. Lin Emo looked at her. Don't call me that. It's disgusting. Huang Shi said coldly. Lin Emo laughed bitterly and self-deprecatingly. So many years have passed. Some things should be put down. I've left long ago. Lin Emo raised his head and looked at his palm. In this life No. I'm not me. I'm not me anymore. I'm still very weak. Don't tell me you want to kill him. I want to kill him. He's you and you're him. He's not me. The one talking to you now is me. Lin Emo said. Coward. Seeing a coward like you again really disgusts me to the extreme. Huang Shi said leisurely. Lin Emo sat on the rock and slowly said, I'm sorry. I don't need you to say that. Seeing you again, I only want to ask you one thing. You want to ask why I chose Ling Yu back then, right? Yes. Back then, you said that you were human and I was a fae. You hated fae and even wanted to kill me. Now I want to ask you one last time. Is that the case? Lin Emo looked up at her. No. I want to see how you can lie to me. What other sweet nothings can you say? Huang Shi sneered coldly. Then he looked at Huang Shi and said, Humans live once every 100 years. Fae live once every 100 years. Even if my talent isn't weak, even if I reach the heavenly Tao realm, can I live for 3,000 years? And 3,000 years is just a snap of a finger to you, who will have a lifespan of at least 100,000 years. If I die, do you want to endure 100,000 years of loneliness? Ling Yu is human too. I can accompany her for a lifetime and leave with her. Huang Shi's body trembled. Liar. You're still a liar. You're still lying to me. When Huang Shi heard his words, she lost control of her emotions as her eyes turned red. Lin Emo looked at her. I'm very happy to be able to say these words. Regardless of whether you believe it or not, I did let you down. However, I'm already in the past. The current me doesn't know what he is like. I don't have any memories of him. I only hope that you won't let him remember what happened in the past. Please don't hurt him. Goodbye, Cece. Following that, golden light swirled around his body before it slowly dissipated. Don't go. Huang Shi flashed over and hugged Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's eyes changed as he shook his head and looked at Huang Shi who was hugging him. Holy *T. What's wrong? Chapter 1351. Lin Xian was really dumbfounded. When he pressed his hand into that handprint, he didn't know anything. It was as if his brain had crashed at that moment. It was as if he had skipped that period of time. Anyway, Lin Xian didn't have any recollection of it. By the time he regained his senses and opened his eyes, the woman was already hugging him. Lin Xian could feel the softness of her body, as well as the invincible fragrance of her body. Damn it! Did the heavens have to play with him like this? Lin Xian then raised his hand. His hand wanted to hug this woman in the air, but Yi Tianyi hesitated because he didn't dare. In the end, Lin Xian's hand still hugged her waist. Huang Shi's delicate body was slightly trembling. Her words just now seemed very cold and ruthless. But was it true? It wasn't true. If she was really ruthless, she wouldn't have waited here for 800 years. She wouldn't have waited for Lin Xian to appear, and she wouldn't have let Lin Xian live. He disappeared. She didn't know if what he said before he left was true or false, but she was willing to treat it as true. In Huang Shi's eyes, even if you lied to me, please don't tell me. Please lie to me forever. Huang Shi gradually recovered, and then her body slowly moved back. Her hand didn't move away from Lin Xian's body, and Lin Xian's hand didn't move away from her waist. They just stared at each other like this. Lin Xian didn't dare to look at her after glancing at her. Lin Xian was always a little afraid of this woman. Her kind of scaring was different from Yi Renbing. Yi Renbing deliberately scared you, but she might really scare you. To put it simply, after they got to know each other, Yi Renbing might say that she wanted to kill you, but she might really do it. You're crying. Lin Xian looked at Huang Shi in shock. Damn. What just happened? Why was she crying? Huang Shi let go of Lin Xian's hand and turned her face to the side. No, I was blinded by the wind and sand. she said indifferently. Lin Xian. Wow. I've seen this line 10,000 times in 10,000 TV dramas. Huangxi, your hand, she said. Lin Xian quickly let go. Lin Xian coughed dryly and said, I was worried that you would take things too hard and jump down. That's why I grabbed you. Let's go back. The food should be almost ready. Huangxi said indifferently and walked away. Okay. Lin Xian caught up with her. You haven't told me what happened just now. I'm fine. Something must have happened. Scram. Oh, then I won't say anything. Lin Xian immediately cowered. Huangxi also gradually recovered from her earlier emotions. Lin Mo was already in the past. He and Lin Xian were the same person, but also not the same person. If he could obtain Lin Mo's memories, then they would be the same person. However, he had said that he didn't want the current him to remember the past. The current Lin Xian also didn't want to remember the past. To Huangxi, her answer was very clear. The rest was up to her to make her own choice. And wasn't her choice already reflected in her actions? He was Lin Xian. He was also Lin Mo. He was just equivalent to Lin Mo without his memories. He was still him. The two of them returned to the table. The food Lin Xian wanted to eat was on the table. Slurp. Lin Xian sat there and sucked the noodles crazily. Wow, this beef noodle dish is the most beef noodle dish I've ever eaten in my life. Lin Xian said as he sprinkled chili powder. Huangxi looked at him, and then at the noodles in front of him. Was it that delicious? He said all the delicacies were not delicious, but a bowl of noodles was enough to make him eat heartily. Eat it. Lin Xian glanced at Huangxi. Huangxi then took a small bite. You have to eat it in big bites. Eat noodles in big bites. Lin Xian smiled, and then got up to sprinkle some chili powder on her. Try again. Huangxi didn't say anything. She stirred it and tasted it. How is it? Lin Xian asked. It's okay. Lin Xian, wow. A reversal of 2 levels? Cough, cough, cough. The taste is different. I like to eat simple things like this. Lin Xian then drank all the soup. Huangxi also gradually finished the bowl of noodles. It's good, it's good. Lin Xian leaned there and touched his stomach. Huangxi gently wiped her red lips. Is there anything else? If there's nothing else, can you let me go? I'm still in the Tianwu Conference's trial. It concerns whether I can enter the God's Awakening door. It's very important. I believe you must have heard of the God's Awakening door. Lin Xian looked at her and said. No. Huangxi shook her head. Why? Lin Xian frowned and asked. She was a couple with him in his previous life, but that was also a matter of his previous life. Even if he abandoned her in his previous life, she should be able to understand that it had nothing to do with him, right? And she shouldn't be stupid. But why didn't she let him go? Because I don't want to. Lin Xian. But it concerns my future. Why didn't she want to? She didn't want to let him go. Of course, this was also one aspect. She didn't want to let him enter the God's Awakening door. Why? Because Lin Mo was a very well-behaved person. As his women, they were all willing to serve him with other women. On the contrary, he was the one who wasn't willing. He only wanted to be loyal to one person. Wasn't this infuriating? Was he still a man? Of course, Huangxi now felt that it was just an excuse. It was an excuse to get rid of her and abandon her. He said it passionately, but in reality, he was the most hypocritical person in the world. Back then, he also entered the God's Awakening door. What happened after that? He never came out again. That's right, he died in the God's Awakening door. That was what he said to Bing Lingyue. He said that he would definitely come back. Then he went to the God's Awakening door and never came back. Because before that, he had a heavenly fate jewel in Bing Lingyue's hands. When the jewel was destroyed, the person was destroyed. After that, Bing Lingyue fell into a deep sleep. No time passed. She wanted to see him again. She believed that they would see each other again. But she didn't know how long it would take. With their lifespan, even the heavenly Tao would only let them live for a few thousand years. At most they could live for 10,000 years. She didn't want to wait for many years to see him again. She was already old. She also believed that the first person she would see when she woke up would be him, because he said so. But Bing Lingyue was worried that she might fall into a deep sleep for a long time. When she woke up, her memory of him would be blurred and disappear. There was no concept of time in deep sleep, but the brain could really gradually lose its memory. So, she was willing to use the love flower to make herself fall in love with the first person she saw when she woke up. Because he said so, she believed that the first person she would see when she woke up would be him. What a love-struck woman. Chapter 1352. Humans could be reincarnated after death. Animals could be reincarnated as well. Life could be reincarnated after death. This was a rule that no one could understand. No one knew where to reincarnate or how to reincarnate, but it was a rule that existed. It was possible that some people would reincarnate the next day after death. They might no longer be human and enter another world. It was also possible that they would reincarnate after hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of years. It was uncertain. Therefore, why did Bing Lingyue put him into a slumber? However, Huangxi was different. Her lifespan was destined to be hundreds of thousands of years. Her bloodline and talent were there for all to see. She was willing to wait. In fact, in terms of pain, Huangxi was probably in more pain. Huangxi knew that Lin Mo had died inside after entering. Therefore, he could not enter. It's very dangerous inside. It's best you don't enter. I know it's very dangerous. It's more dangerous than you imagine, said Huangxi. Lin Xian frowned. Do you know something about it? Do you know what's inside the door of God's awakening? Lin Xian asked in astonishment. Huangxi shook her head. I don't know. Then she looked at Lin Xian. She even regretted something. What was she regretting? She would let him know about the past and present. Therefore, Huangxi's petite body released a terrifying force as Lin Xian watched her helplessly. What are you doing? Tang. Reversal. Shua. At the next instant, the scene around the duo changed as they appeared beside the table. The dishes on the table were still the same as before. Lin Xian was sitting there, looking at the lobster. Time reversal is the highest level power of the time attribute. It's normal for you to stop time, but it's really difficult for you to reverse time. For example, could Lin Xian's time attribute reverse time? Yes. A few seconds. Furthermore, the range was only that large. He was the only one in the group. It was too difficult. Without reaching the heavenly Tao realm, there was really no way to truly release time reversal. Huangxi sat there, gasping for breath. She turned back time. Although it wasn't long, it was very difficult. She was a releaser, and she had also gone back in time, but she could still remember those things. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was completely oblivious to what was happening. He was truly being pushed back by this force over time. Simply put, reversing time also meant rewriting the future. However, in this short period of time, Lin Xian's future was still fine. Turning back time was only one of the reasons. She regretted telling Lin Xian about her past life. No, to be precise, she only told him that they knew each other in their past lives, which made him realize that there was a past life. She didn't want to anymore. It's not bad, Lin Xian said after taking a bite of the lobster. Lin Xian frowned. What's wrong with you? You look very tired. Huangxi stood up and took a deep breath. Xiaoqing, go make him some beef noodles and seafood noodles. Add chili in advance. Yes, master. Lin Xian. What the heck? She actually knows what I want to eat? I'm going back to my room to rest first. Someone will bring you there after you finish eating. Lin Xian scratched his head. What the heck? Someone will bring me there after I finish eating? To where? To her room? Is she crazy? One must know that when he turned back time to this place, Lin Xian only experienced the stage where she asked him if the food was delicious, and he said it was not bad. Lin Xian didn't know anything else. At this time, Huangxi didn't tell Lin Xian any words that they knew in their past lives. Therefore, Lin Xian was especially dumbfounded at this moment. This was the power of time. Time and space were known as the two strongest heaven-defying attributes. Wasn't it extracted from this place? If you have the time attribute, and if you control it well enough, then you might really be able to rewrite the future. For example, if someone dies in a car accident, and you happen to be beside them, if you want to save him, then you can use time reversal. Generally speaking, no matter how strong a person is, they can only reverse time by less than half an hour. A world had many elements. Life, light, water, air. But a world needed space. It had to have time. Therefore, this was also why these two elements were the strongest. But at present, even if one was at the heavenly Tao realm with 10 stars, how much of the strength of these two elements could they truly produce? Hey, can you give me the phone to play? No, during this time, if I see you secretly chatting with anyone, I will send someone to kill whoever you chat with. Huangxi walked away after saying that. Lin Xian, wah! This woman is crazy. Lin Xian wiped his mouth after eating. Young master, please follow little Qing. Lin Xian stood up. Where are we going? To master's room. Lin Xian. What the heck? Are we really going to her room? Why are we going to her room? This. Little Qing doesn't know either. In short, it's master's orders. Lin Xian scratched his head in confusion. What was the extent of his memories of Huangxi? After their first meeting, he had just woken up. Due to the delay, he came over for a meal. She merely asked him if he was good before leaving. That's right, Lin Xian's memory. No, it wasn't a memory. It was an experience that led him to this place. Do you think she likes me? Lin Xian asked. Perhaps. Little Qing was taken aback for a moment before replying. Right? How can a girl's room, and a fey god's room at that? Besides, it's so late at night. If she has something to tell me, she could have done it outside. Why would she go to her room? So she might like me, right? It seemed like Lin Xian was asking that girl, but in fact he was telling himself, yes, that's right. Don't panic. That's right. I don't know. Little Qing shook her head. All right. When they passed by the stone, Lin Xian looked over and frowned. That stone, Little Qing then said. That stone has been there for as long as Little Qing can remember. Master has never allowed us to go there. Young master can't go there either. All right. We're here. Then, Xiaoqing brought Lin Xian to a beautiful big house that looked like a villa. This house was dozens of stories high, and at the top Lin Xian saw a red light. Master is in the room at the top. Little Qing won't be going. Young master, please. Then Little Qing opened the door for Lin Xian. Lin Xian walked in a daze. There was only one room at the top. It felt like a hotel hall. There was a huge door. Lin Xian then walked over and gently pushed it open. What entered his eyes was a charming pink light. Chapter 1353. Lin Xian was dumbfounded. Because he had been turned back in time, he didn't know anything about the past. What past and present life? It was as if he hadn't experienced anything before. Then she asked him to go to her room. Lin Xian panicked. He didn't know what to do until he saw the pink light. To be honest, there was no other color that could make a man daydream more than this faint pink light. Lin Xian swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Damn. What is this for? Pink light, this can't be. Lin Xian then tried knocking on the door that was already open. That. Senior, I'm here. Can I come in? Lin Xian asked with a bit of fear and uncertainty. Come in. Huangxi's indifferent and slightly lazy voice came from inside. Lin Xian then slowly closed the door and walked in. It was so big. This room was so big that it could be the first floor of the hotel, and he could see so many things. In any case, any luxurious things that one could imagine in a room were placed neatly here. The most exaggerated thing was that Lin Xian saw a wardrobe so big that it made his mouth drop. God! This wardrobe! Are you trying to open a clothing store? This wardrobe could hold all the clothes in a small clothing store, right? This was a demon god. This woman seemed to know how to enjoy life even more than Yi Renbing. What? Where are you? Lin Xian asked. The most exaggerated thing was that he couldn't see anyone after entering this room. How big was this damn room? Moreover, this was just a room. There was no need to open the door. He just had to turn left and right. Behind the screen. Huangxi's voice came again. Lin Xian looked at the fiery red screen in front of him. There was a phoenix pattern on the screen, and it was especially beautiful. Lin Xian walked over helplessly. When Lin Xian went around the screen, he was stunned. Whoosh! Lin Xian abruptly turned around, his back facing Huang Shi. Wow! He was convinced. Behind the screen was a round bathtub of about 50 square meters. Lin Xian couldn't see anything else clearly, because the bathtub was filled with mist. He could only vaguely see Huang Shi's figure leaning against the edge of the bathtub. It seemed like she wasn't wearing anything. Lin Xian was dumbfounded. Why did he have to turn around? Because he was afraid. Although there were signs that this woman might be lusting after his body, Lin Xian was really scared. Tell me, a heavenly Dao realm existence captured you, and did not say much after capturing you. Then she invited you over for dinner, but before the meal was over she left. She did not even say much before asking him to come to her room. Now she is bathing. Yes, Lin Xian felt the same. As for the reason, he did not know. However, although he felt that it was the case, he found it baffling. He had goddess-like existences by his side. Linglong Shui, the Void Fox, Yiren Bing, the Demon God, Bing Lingyue, and Empress. Apart from Bing Lingyue, Lin Xian might have obtained them in a baffling manner. But for Linglong Shui and Yiren Bing, which one of them wasn't obtained by Lin Xian after risking his life and crawling back from the brink of death again and again? He never imagined that there would come a day when an existence at the level of Linglong Shui would seduce him. That's right. She took the initiative to seduce him. That was abnormal. Therefore Lin Xian was afraid. Huang Shi looked through the mist at Lin Xian, who had his back facing her. Hypocrite. She said faintly. Sis, I'm not being hypocritical. I'm just afraid. Lin Xian said helplessly. He was afraid that he would see something he shouldn't see, and then Huang Shi would kill him or gouge out his eyes. What? She could obviously kill him and torture him as she pleased. Why would she do this? Who would understand? How could Lin Xian know the thoughts of an expert? What are you afraid of? If I really wanted to kill you, do you think you would still be alive? Huang Shi said faintly. Splash. Then the sound of water flowed into Lin Xian's ears. He couldn't stand it. As a man, he really couldn't stand this kind of sound, especially when the tip of his nose was filled with that kind of fragrance. However, Huang Shi's words made Lin Xian's relaxed brows loosen. She said that if she really wanted to kill him, she would have already done so. This sentence actually meant that she wouldn't kill him? Then did that mean she was really seducing him? What did he do to deserve this? Come and help me wipe it. Huang Shi said lightly. Lin Xian. Gulp. Are you sure you won't hurt me if I wipe it? Stop talking nonsense. All right. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and walked over. Through the mist, Lin Xian saw Huang Shi, who was sitting in the water and leaning against the edge with her hair draped over her shoulders. Damn it. Lin Xian was dumbfounded. What was the point? She might be wearing something else, but she really wasn't wearing anything. However, Lin Xian couldn't see anything. Why? She was only leaking up to her shoulders. The water was very clear, but there were colorful petals floating on the surface of the water. The petals gathered in that area and blocked Lin Xian's view. Lin Xian couldn't see what was going on under the water. Lin Xian walked behind her. Wipe where? Lin Xian swallowed a mouthful of saliva and asked. Where do you want to wipe? I can wipe it up to your shoulders. Lin Xian looked at that fair skin, and his nose was about to bleed. Up to you. Huang Shi closed her eyes and leaned against the wall and said lightly. Lin Xian. This woman was seducing him, and now she was hinting at him. Wipe where? Up to you? Wasn't this a blatant declaration? But this was also Lin Xian's guess. This was the heavenly Dao. Lin Xian didn't dare to do it. Although he had triggered the mission, but who the F***ck could withstand this? Then I'll wipe it. Then Lin Xian stood behind her and used a towel to wipe her shoulders, neck and other areas. Don't go to the God's awakening door. Huang Shi closed her eyes and leaned against the wall and said lazily. Why? Lin Xian frowned. It's very dangerous. There was no problem going to the God's awakening door, but Huang Shi only knew that Lin Xian died in the God's awakening door, and Lin Xian was his reincarnation. Now that Lin Xian wanted to go to the God's awakening door, she didn't have a good feeling. She had a feeling that history might repeat itself. After all, she had experienced it before, so she was afraid. There's no reason, Huangxi said. There must be a reason. Do you know what's inside the God's awakening door? Lin Xian asked doubtfully. I don't know, but you better not go. I have to go. It's not a place where death is certain. Moreover, that place is too important for a martial artist, so I have to go. So, can you let me go? I have to participate in the Tianwu conference. Lin Xian asked. Huangxi's slender hands swam on the water surface, brushing the petals one by one. When she heard Lin Xian's words, she stopped. Then are you going to leave now or take me? Walala. Huangxi stood up and slowly turned to look at Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Chapter 1354. Wah. Lin Xian was dumbfounded. This woman, she really wasn't wearing anything. She was standing right in front of him. What the F***ck? Huangxi's eyes flashed red. Lin Xian didn't understand what her eyes meant. Under normal circumstances, she had normal eyes, but sometimes, her pupils would turn red. It was very strange. But now it didn't matter. Gulp, this wasn't King seduction anymore. She wanted to F***ck him. Choose. Huangxi looked at Lin Xian. Then, can I choose the second one before choosing the first one? Lin Xian coughed dryly. His eyes didn't move away. One was the mission, the other was little Yingying and the God's awakening door. It was so difficult. What was the key? The key was that Lin Xian felt that she was the kind of person who wouldn't be able to complete the first one if she chose the second one. Since she chose to possess you, she couldn't leave. Lin Xian really felt that she was such a person. No. Lin Xian looked up at her. Then I'd better go back. Lin Xian said. Huangxi was stunned. Crack, crack, crack. She gradually clenched her fists and the fiery red in her eyes became even more intense. Why? Why did he still choose to leave when she was already standing right in front of him? Were those human girls prettier than her? Nobler than her? More powerful than her? Why? Why did she have the same feeling as back then? She felt as if she was worthless in front of him. Back then, he could leave without caring about their old relationship. Now she was standing right in front of him, and he still chose to leave. Wasn't the meaning the same? Lin Xian gulped and looked at her. What was she trying to do? At this moment, Huangxi's wet hair fluttered and her body was surrounded by a strong aura. Really, Lin Xian was scared to death. Hey, don't be like this. Don't be angry. It's very scary. Lin Xian took 2 steps back. Wah, what the hell was this? He didn't do anything to her and she was angry? How could she be like this? Huangxi raised her hand, and then her figure flickered and vanished on the spot. After that, she grabbed Lin Xian's neck. In the next instant, both of them appeared by the side of the wall, and Lin Xian was leaning against it. However, she didn't use much strength in her grip on Lin Xian's neck. She merely restrained him. I'll give you one more chance. Lin Xian really hated the feeling of being threatened by others. But this woman's naked. Aren't you embarrassed? Even if she wasn't shy, Lin Xian would already have feelings for her. But choose again. I'll choose the first one. I want to leave. I want to become stronger. I can make you stronger. Huangxi said coldly. That's different. Huangxi then let go of Lin Xian. Then you can leave. She turned around. Lin Xian touched his neck. Then, I'm really leaving. Lin Xian then walked to the door. When you take a step out of here, they will all die. Huangxi said indifferently. Lin Xian, I say, big sister, what are you doing? Don't make it so difficult for me, okay? Lin Xian went crazy. Huangxi frowned. You won't be able to find a boyfriend like this. Even if you find a boyfriend, you will definitely force him away. Lin Xian said. Huangxi's delicate body suddenly trembled. Why? Am I not beautiful enough for what? Huangxi slowly turned around and looked at Lin Xian. You're beautiful enough, too beautiful, but what? But you will make men very tired. Huangxi was stunned. I can understand that you want my body, but we haven't done anything yet. and you're making it so difficult for me. I can't imagine what will happen in the future. So, I want to leave. Huang Xi's beautiful eyes trembled slightly as she looked at Lin Xian. She understands me better. This was what Lin Mo said at first. She didn't understand what he meant. Understand him better? Understand him better? She also understood him very well. She even dared to say that Bing Lingyue might not understand him as well as she did, so she didn't understand what he meant. Or was it just an excuse from Lin Mo? It was just a lie that he had used to deceive her. But at this moment, the moment Lin Xian said this, she seemed to understand. So this was what he meant when he said, understand. It was simple. When he was tired, she would massage his shoulders, pour him a glass of water, make him a meal, comfort him when he was depressed, talk to him when he was lonely. But it wasn't from the beginning to the end. She would only be unruly and follow him around. She didn't want to leave, regardless of the occasion or time. She didn't even ask if he was willing. She understood. Huang Xi laughed. Sure enough, you taught me a lesson. Huang Xi muttered. Lin Xian frowned. What do I mean? That. I'm not saying that you're not good. With your appearance and status, what kind of man can't you get? I'm saying that it's not right for you to say that. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said. Okay, I understand. Huang Xi then slowly walked towards Lin Xian. Then I'll give you another chance to choose. The first or the second? Lin Xian. What the F***ck? If you choose the second, you can also choose the first. Huang Xi stood in front of Lin Xian and said faintly. Lin Xian. Really? Yes. Then choose the second. Huang Xi's eyes returned to normal. Then you can do it. Ah? How? How did you do it before? Lin Xian scratched his head, and then swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Are you sure? Yes, ding. Prince Charming points plus 300 million. Ding. Congratulations on completing the mission. All attributes unlocked. You've obtained dark fire. Damn. How could he let go of something that was sent to his mouth? But what made Lin Xian feel that it was inconceivable was that this woman was actually her first time. That's right, it was her first time. She had accompanied him for a long time. Actually, it wasn't that long. It was only 2 or 3 years. In these 2 or 3 years, she was very happy. But the last step between them didn't happen. She still didn't understand why. Because there were many times when she took the initiative, and he was the one who rejected her. Or, actually from the beginning, she had been hiding the fact that she was a devil. Did he already know that she was a devil? Then why did he want to be with her? In those 3 years, she really didn't release her power even once. The devil didn't release their power. Plus, her realm wasn't weaker than Lin Mo's at that time, so he didn't know that she was a devil. One night passed just like that. Chapter 1355. The next morning in the afternoon, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He didn't care about the reward because last night was 2F***king exciting. Ouch! My waist hurts, my waist hurts. Lin Xian supported his waist and sat up. Really, he didn't stop last night. It wasn't that he didn't stop, but that woman didn't stop either. What could Lin Xian do? He was a man. If the woman didn't stop, how could he stop? Then his waist hurt. Do you think it was easy for his waist? Most importantly, this woman was simply too invincible. She was too perfect. Lin Xian couldn't take it anymore. F***ck, if there's a next time, I'm not human. Lin Xian massaged his waist and put on his clothes. That Huang Xi had already disappeared, and even the bedsheet had been taken away by her at an unknown time. But this woman's first time, is it true? Lin Xian, on the other hand, was completely stunned. He felt that it was unbelievable. It wasn't that she couldn't be a virgin. Look at Linglong Shui and Yi Renbing. They had lived for so long, but they had never had a boyfriend before. But this Huang Xi, although Lin Xian didn't know, Lin Xian felt that she had a boyfriend before. Even if she didn't have a boyfriend, such a noble woman would take the initiative to do other men after her first time? Would you believe it? So at that time Lin Xian felt that she might be a prostitute. But this was the first time she broke Lin Xian's guess. But until now Lin Xian still didn't understand. Why would she fall for him? He really didn't know her. If Huang Shi didn't use time reversal, Lin Xian would know everything. But now Lin Xian really didn't know. Lin Xian yawned and jumped off the bed while rubbing his waist. Initially, Lin Xian thought that Huang Shi had gone somewhere. Then Lin Xian glanced around and saw that she was actually on the balcony at the side. No, it should be the rooftop. She was wearing loose fiery red pajamas, and sat there with her legs crossed. The wind blew her hair, and she sat there drinking tea. Lin Xian walked over. Are you hungry? Huang Shi didn't turn her head and just asked. I'm okay. The noodles have been made. They'll send it up later. Thank you. Lin Xian nodded and sat beside her. He wanted to take advantage of her, but Lin Xian's hand inexplicably retracted. This woman was so flirtatious last night. Why was she so cold? She wanted to make sure Lin Xian dare not touch her. Huang Shi saw Lin Xian's actions from the corner of her eye, and the corners of her lips curled up slightly. Touch me if you want to, she said indifferently. Lin Xian. Forget it. Lin Xian smiled awkwardly. He wanted to, but her attitude made him afraid. What's wrong? Huang Shi turned her head and glanced at Lin Xian. Nothing. My waist hurts. Lin Xian smiled awkwardly. That's right. I don't understand. Why did you choose me? Did something happen between us? Lin Xian asked. No need to ask, no need to guess. That's it. Oh. Lin Xian nodded. Damn it. The more she said this, the more curious he was. There are some things that Bing Lingyue didn't tell you? Huang Shi asked. She only knew that Bing Lingyue sealed herself in ice to wait for Lin Mo to come back. She didn't know anything else. She didn't even know that Bing Lingyue was born. She had been with Lin Xian for a long time, but she still didn't know. Until 2 days ago, when she saw Lin Xian, she knew that he was back. Lin Xian looked at her. You know Bing Lingyue? Lin Xian showed a surprised expression. Wait, if it was inexplicable, then Bing Lingyue was similar to her. Bing Lingyue had become his woman out of nowhere. She was the empress of a generation. Huang Shi was the same. They were similar in this aspect. Coincidentally, they knew each other. I know her. Huang Shi took a sip of tea, and then casually crossed her legs on Lin Xian's lap. She didn't tell me that she lost her memory. Lost her memory? Huang Shi looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Yes. When I first saw her, it was in an ice palace. I thought she was dead. She suddenly opened her eyes and almost scared me to death. But what happened? You must know. I know, but I don't want to tell you. Lin Xian. Then I'll tickle you. You can try, Huang Shi said faintly. Then. Lin Xian didn't dare to do it. Alright, he was a coward, alright? Then how is your relationship with her? Like fire and water. Lin Xian. Wah. His mentality was gone. Cough, cough, cough. Lin Xian coughed awkwardly. Can't you tell me a little? Lin Xian held her foot in his hand. Huang Shi's delicate body trembled slightly, but she didn't pull away. Let's talk about it later. Are you sure you want to go to the God's Awakening door? She asked the question again. Definitely. Huang Shi nodded. Let's go after dinner, she said. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Damn. Although this woman was scary, she still kept her word. Okay. Huang Shi glanced at him again. Was he going to be so heartless or leave directly? You won't stay for another day? Lin Xian said. I want to stay too. Hypocrite. It's true, but my friends are still fighting at the front line and might even be in danger. But I'm drunk on the fragrance of a beauty. I can't get over it, Lin Xian said. Huang Shi nodded, then pulled her foot away and walked away. Where are you going? Lin Xian asked. Just go. Then she pushed open the door and walked away. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Wah. He was really a beast. I'll come back after the Tianwu conference ends. Lin Xian let out a sigh and turned his attention to the dark flames. This was his reward. It definitely wasn't bad. Lin Xian stretched out his hand, and a flame condensed in his palm. In Lin Xian's perception, this flame was many times stronger than the flames he released before. Lin Xian rarely used the fire attribute previously, because he had the lightning attribute. The lightning attribute's destructive power was stronger, and the fire attribute was useless. But now, this flame was red with a hint of black. This was the first time Lin Xian had seen a flame of this level. What's so special about this dark flame? It shouldn't be as simple as its destructive power and temperature being higher. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. Then he carefully sensed it. Dark flame, I understand now. So this dark flame even condenses the power of darkness. In other words, when I release this dark flame, it can directly ignore the opponent's defense. Lin Xian's eyes suddenly lit up. In other words, in terms of destructive power, the lightning attribute was still the strongest, but in terms of offensive power, the fire attribute might be stronger. Because the lightning attribute could be blocked, but the fire attribute, the dark flame, you can try blocking it. Chapter 1356. After Lin Xian finished his meal, he stood by the edge of the island. Behind him was the white flying fey beast that brought him here. Where's your demon immortal? Lin Xian asked. The heavenly Dao realm woman who brought Lin Xian here had a completely different attitude towards Lin Xian. She was alarmed. Only the heavens knew that the person she brought was... I don't know. Then, did your demon immortal leave me a way to contact her? Lin Xian asked. Young master, do you wish to contact Her Excellency? Lin Xian nodded. Of course. If she didn't leave any, I'll look for her. Lin Xian did not wish to be disconnected from her just like that. Yes. Then she handed Lin Xian a piece of paper. On it was possible that she had already written a way to contact him. Including Huang Xi's cell phone number and WeChat ID, she rarely used it, but it was much more convenient than a spirit artifact for communication. Furthermore, it did not cost anything. Therefore, her subordinates naturally used it when reporting matters to her. Alright, please send me there. Alright. Elsewhere, Murong Yu and company had just defeated an SS-ranked faction. The 6 girls were lying in the snow, panting. Xintong, how much are we ahead of them? Han Chuxiu asked. Wang Xintong took a glance. We're ahead of Fengling's team of 3 S-ranked factions, 1 SS-ranked faction, and 1 SSS-ranked faction. However, they are slowly catching up to us. Wang Xintong said. Phew. Everyone, let's rest for half an hour before setting off again. Han Chuxiu said. Alright. Without Lin Xian, they indeed felt that it would be much more difficult. Lin Xian's combat strength, space-time creation laws, and destruction laws could really increase their strength by a lot. They also realized that they couldn't do without Lin Xian. Thankfully, their abilities were extremely outstanding. They had been competing with Fengling's team over the past few days, but in terms of progress, they had been slightly pulled apart. Therefore, they could only fight even harder. After all, there were 9 of them and only 6 of them. It doesn't matter. There are 9 of them. As long as we can ensure that the number and quality of the forces we defeat in this round is equal to theirs, then we will definitely win. Xiao Xinyu said softly. Looking at the progress, it's a bit difficult. Our advantage is the difference of an SSS rank. After all, there are 9 of them, and none of them are weak. Murong Yu said. In short, everyone, let's do our best. We'll bring along Lin Xian's share as well. Even if we fail, we'll still do our best. Ling Ying said. Sai, I wonder how Lin Xian is doing? I can't contact him at all. Is he okay? Wang Xintong bit her lip. Wu Yuhan said faintly. If he says it's fine, then it should be fine. For the past 2 days, they had been staring at their phones, hoping that they would suddenly see Lin Xian's signal appear on the map. However, they never saw it. And this matter also attracted the attention of the various forces and powerhouses. Lin Xian had suddenly disappeared from the signal. This made them feel a little strange. There were 2 possibilities. First, he had exceeded the range, so the signal could not be captured. Second, his phone had been destroyed. The second possibility was more likely. It did not matter that his phone was destroyed. He still had the entire team. As long as the entire team had a phone, there would be no problem. Therefore, they did not ask, nor did they panic. They only thought that Lin Xian's phone had been destroyed. This was very normal. It was easy to destroy a phone in a big battle. However, losing a person's signal did not mean that he was dead. This did not match. However, if you were fighting alone and your signal was gone, it meant that you had defeated a force but could not mark it on the map. If you did not mark it, even if you had the monster crystal of that force's boss, it would be useless. No points would be added. You could only return to the North Pole to retrieve your phone again. This would waste a lot of time. As for Feng Ling, she was definitely paying attention to this matter. However, they were a team. It did not matter if Lin Xian's phone was destroyed, but this Lin Xian's phone had lost its signal 2 days ago. They must have experienced a big battle and probably suffered heavy injuries. Duan Lingxiao said. That's right. Look, after Lin Xian's signal disappeared, their team's speed slowed down a lot. This also means that Lin Xian's combat power should have been greatly affected. It might even be that he won't have much combat power in a short period of time. These 2 days, it should be the other 6 people who have been killing monsters. Xiaoyan nodded and said. Feng Ling's eyebrows slightly knitted. Could it be, something happened to him? Is he dead? Su Jiming said. Everyone was stunned for a moment. It was possible. After all, many of the opponents they faced were in the absolute void stage. Those in the absolute void stage definitely had the ability to kill them. If they were not careful, they could really die. The possibility is not high. He has space and time. How could he die? Feng Qinghao said. That's not right. According to what Brother Feng said, he has space and time. How could he be injured? Even an injury that can't provide him with combat power for 2 days? Don't forget, he has the law of creation. If he is injured, no matter how serious the injury is, they will continue to heal. With his law of creation healing, he will recover very quickly. However, it has been 2 days and their progress has been gradually surpassed by us. This proves that Lin Xian has almost no combat power. If he is injured, he should recover very quickly. So, he might really be dead. Qin Ming's eyes suddenly lit up as he said. Hearing this, a few of them were in an extremely good mood. The possibility was very high. Feng Ling frowned. No, he would not die. She did not believe it. She was not willing to. She still wanted to defeat Lin Xian. She wanted to prove that Lin Xian could not die. However, she felt that the possibility was quite high. She had the law of creation, so she knew very well how fast and effective the law of creation could heal one's injuries. Lin Xian's signal had disappeared for 2 days, and their progress was so much slower. If it was the law of creation, he should be fine, therefore this possibility was there. Let's go. Let's go and take a look. Feng Ling said. Are you sure you want to go? Duan Lingxiao asked. Chu he said at this time. It's not a problem to go. Now that our 2 teams are very close, it won't take much time with the space attribute. We can go over and take a look at their situation. If something really happens to Lin Xian, we won't need to go to more dangerous places in the future. Understanding their situation is beneficial for us. Okay, then let's go directly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Then they disappeared on the spot. Duan Lingxiao and the rest wished that Lin Xian was dead. Chapter 1357. After Murongyu and the other girls rested, they went to the nearest SS rank organization. Among the 250 participants, there were very few who could pose a threat to an SS rank organization. There were not many of them. There were only 2 of them, and no more than 3 other teams. However, their 2 teams had the highest chance of defeating an SS rank organization. The others would be difficult. After all, SS rank organizations had absolute void stage experts, and there might even be 2 of them. Heavenly Venerables fighting absolute void stage experts was like licking blood on the tip of a blade. The best were in Lin Xian and Feng Ling's teams. The others would find it difficult to defeat an SS rank organization. What was Zhuge Feng doing now? That's right. He was killing a small organization by himself. He knew that the strong ones were in Feng Ling and Lin Xian's teams. These 2 teams had 16 people, and they only took the top 10. If there were no special circumstances, these 2 teams would definitely be in the top 10. The top 10 would be from these 16 people. Since he did not choose to join any of their teams, It proved that Zhuge Feng must have his own thoughts. His thoughts were simple. He liked someone mainly because he felt that if he joined, he would definitely join Lin Xian's team. However, that team was too strong. He felt that he could not improve, so he might as well just go by himself. Perhaps many people looked down on the small organizations. Although they had low points, they were easy to kill. Zhuge Feng killed from B, A and S rank alone. However, he could not do the same for SS rank. Wherever he went, he would attack any organization he encountered. As a result, his points accumulated quite a lot. Time passed slowly, and the sky soon turned dark. This should be the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf clan. Ling Ying looked at the huge territory in front of them. This was an SS rank organization. Previously, they had seen a few other teams come here and stay for a while before leaving. Some of them fought, and some of them probably left immediately after taking a look. Why? Because the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf clan was very strong. The Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf was a clan with a higher bloodline. At the same time, their combat strength was definitely the strongest in this area. The Wolf clan was very smart and had outstanding combat strength. What was the most powerful thing about the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf? That was night. The Silver Moon Sirius could borrow the power of the moonlight at night. It might not be able to double their strength, but it was definitely enough to increase their strength. Yes, the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf clan is the only SS rank faction nearby. Morongyu nodded. Then we have to fight. However, it's better if we fight during the day. The Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf clan's battle prowess increases greatly at night. Moreover, there's also the Great Virtual Realm. Although we've all reached the 8 or 9 stars of the Heavenly Venerate realm in the past few days, without Lin Xian's domain to lower our realm, and with the fact that it's night, it'll be extremely difficult. Morongyu said. But the sky has just darkened. There are still 10 hours before dawn. Are we going to waste those 10 hours? There are only a few B-rank organizations left in this area. It's a bit of a loss for us to spend 10 hours just for these few B-rank organizations. Xiao Xingyue said. It's quite a loss. Morongyu thought for a while and said. If there's no other way, we can only take the risk and try. Hey look, Fengling's team suddenly came to our side. They were originally tens of kilometers away, but Wang Xintong looked again. They were probably only a few kilometers away from each other. It could be the distance of a few mountains. Are they also coming to attack this place? Wu Yuhan frowned suddenly. Their team had people from the Feng clan and the Chu clan. She had not completely figured out what happened in the past, but at least for now, she was hostile towards these two clans. Attacking is one thing, but they're probably also here to harass us. Han Chuxue said calmly. Then what should we do? Wang Xintong asked. Morongyu said. We'll know when they arrive. Anyway, they only needed to know that they could not fight with each other. However, they could attack a certain organization together. As for who the organization belonged to, it would depend on who killed the big boss first and took the demonic crystal. When the demonic crystal fell into the hands of the person who took it, it would prove who the organization belonged to. Moreover, they could not snatch it. If anyone snatched it and reported it, the entire team would be gone. Very quickly, Fengling's team of 9 appeared behind them. Whoa! When they saw that there were 6 of them, Duan Lingxiao and the others' eyes suddenly lit up. 6 people? And there were 6 women. Then Lin Xian, was he really dead? Fengling's brows also furrowed suddenly. Was Lin Xian really not with them? Following which, the 9 of them walked over. You guys are progressing really fast. You still haven't let us overtake you. Respectable opponents. Duan Lingxiao walked over and said with a smile. He liked Morongyu, but he no longer chose to blindly pursue Morongyu. If he could get it, he must get it. If he couldn't get it, he would not give up on everything and force it. You guys are the same. You guys are also very fast. Morongyu said lightly. Where's Lin Xian from your team? Where did he go? Xiao Yin then asked. How they wished to hear the news that Lin Xian was dead. You guys don't need to worry about where Lin Xian is. Ling Ying said vaguely as he peeled a lollipop and put it in his mouth. They frowned. From the looks of it, Lin Xian didn't seem to be dead. If Lin Xian was dead, they wouldn't be so calm. Was he pretending? To be honest, there was no need to pretend. Could it be, did they have some kind of secret weapon? Could it be that this Lin Xian had gone to do something big? But no matter what he did, he needed a phone. Without a phone, he couldn't get any points. It was really strange. I saw that Lin Xian's signal disappeared 2 days ago. Now that Lin Xian isn't with you guys and your progress has fallen behind a lot, this Lin Xian, could it be that something happened to him? Xiaoyan asked. Of course not. We have some plans, but it's not convenient to tell you guys. Morongyu said. Hehehe. They had a rough idea in their hearts. Something must have happened to Lin Xian. Otherwise, what could he do without a phone? He was probably seriously injured. Moreover, it was a serious injury that was difficult to recover from in a short period of time. Then they placed him somewhere to recuperate. In order not to delay their progress, the 6 of them attacked the forces together. The slow progress these few days was enough to explain it. Otherwise, if they had any plans, they would definitely need at least one person to follow Lin Xian and clock in. Their progress couldn't be said to be slow, but it was too fast previously. Now there is a Silver Moon Wolf SS-ranked force ahead. Everyone, what do you plan to do? Feng Ling glanced at them and said. Lin Xian should be fine. At most he was seriously injured. Chapter 1358. Murongyu's gaze landed on the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf's territory in the distance. It might not be a bad thing for them to come. If they did not come, the 6 of them would be in a bit of danger. But now that they were here, perhaps the 2 parties could cooperate. As for who this force would end up in, it would depend on their own abilities. Cooperate? Feng Ling asked. She naturally knew about the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf. Could the 9 of them fight it? Of course they could. However, the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf in the night was an SS rank force. You might have to treat them as an SSS rank force. They were also a little timid. However, if Morongyu and the rest of the 6 were included, there would definitely be no problem. As for who the boss would end up in, it would depend on their own abilities. Sure. Morongyu nodded and said. Then let's cooperate. As for what will happen after we enter, who will end up in the hands of the boss, who will kill it, and who will take the monster crystal, it will all depend on our own abilities. But there is one thing that I hope we can all agree on. This battle is very dangerous for all of us. I hope that after we enter, our first priority is to defeat the opponent and not to fight for the monster crystal, and give the opponent an opportunity to take advantage of us. It might even lead to a tragedy. We are the opponents, but they are the enemies. Feng Ling looked at Morongyu and the rest and said. Sure. Actually, from her words, one could already tell that Feng Ling was definitely a very righteous person. It was just that she had been bullied by Lin Xian and was spoiled rotten. However, her morals were indeed very righteous. In the face of major issues, she was still very sensible. The 15 of them were divided into 2 parties. Then, they walked together towards the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf's territory. Leader, there are more than 10 humans rushing towards our territory. Inside the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf's territory, a group of people rushed in front of a man. The man had a head of silver hair and looked quite handsome. The main thing was that every one of them in human form had a head of silver hair. Humans. The Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf's leader narrowed his eyes. It had been a few days, so he naturally knew what the humans had been doing recently. He also knew that the humans would definitely attack the Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf tribe. To be precise, they were not the first batch. Before them, there were already 2 batches. One batch was discovered and then ran away. The other batch fought for a while, and killed a few weaker Silvermoon Heavenly Wolves. When they couldn't win, they ran away. What a bunch of cowards, a motley crew. The previous 2 batches were like this. How dare this batch attack my Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf clan? Furthermore, it's still night time. A bunch of trash who don't care about their lives actually dared to come to my Silvermoon Heavenly Wolf clan's territory at night. Prepare the formation. This time, they will not return. Yes. Everyone, gather at the front and get ready for battle. Yes. Although the leader's words sounded tough, the latter part of his words made everyone gather together. In fact, it also showed that he was quite cautious. Outside the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf's territory, Murong Yu and the other 15 people stood there. In front of them were over 100 Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf's wolves, and over 100 Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf's experts who had already transformed into human form. Those who had transformed into human form were basically Domain Realm cultivators. Domain Realm cultivators were not strong to them, but Heavenly Venerables were not weak. They had fought quite a number of SS rank forces, so they had a rough idea of how big an SS rank force was. They had about 20 to 30 Heavenly Venerables, ranging from 1 star to 10 stars. As for Virtuous Realm experts, they had at least 2. However, what they wanted was the highest grade Great Virtual Realm Demon Crystal. The Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf's combat strength increased greatly at night. Therefore, it was not wrong to regard them as an SSS rank faction. At this moment, the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolves were looking at them with shining eyes. They were really emitting a scorching light. Wolves could be considered a race that had a greater desire for the opposite sex. Which one of Murong Yu's group wasn't a top-grade beauty? When this group of beauties appeared together in the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf's territory, they felt that these people were courting death. The only problem left was the distribution of these beauties. That's right, they were already considering the distribution of Murong Yu's group of beauties. The leader and deputy leader of the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf's group walked out. When they saw Murong Yu's group of beauties, they were stunned for a moment, and then sneered. While this human gave us such a big gift, the leader of the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf could not help but lick his lips. Open the formation, quickly open the formation. His subconscious reaction was to not let these people escape. They must not escape. He had lived in this place for his entire life, and had never seen such beautiful women. At most, he would go to the human world to catch a few to play with, but most of them could only be said to be good-looking. As for these girls, they were more than just good-looking. It seems that demons are the same as humans. Feng Ling stretched out her hand, and her sword appeared in her palm. Whoosh, a large formation appeared around them. Simply put, this was a barrier that completely trapped them inside. As for its strength, they did not know for now, but they did not panic. 3 spatial attributes were here, and since they were here, and they were even working together, they did not plan to run, and there was no need to run. It was a bit dangerous for one team to fight, but with 2 teams working together, it was really much easier. Then what's there to say? Let's fight. Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf, what a joke. Duan Lingxiao and the others then took out their spirit weapons. A group of Heavenly Venerables? They originally thought that this group of people was very powerful. Why? At first, they thought that these people were ignorant and did not know that they were Silver Moon Heavenly Wolves. But just now, someone said that they were Silver Moon Heavenly Wolves, and now they still did not run? Did they not know how much the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf's combat strength increased at night? Therefore they thought that they might have a very powerful Great Void stage. But when they released their auras, all 15 of them were Heavenly Venerables, and the strongest was only a 9-star Heavenly Venerables. They were completely relieved. The gap between the Heavenly Venerables and the Great Void stage was not small. Most importantly, it was now night, and they were not ordinary Great Void stage. Although more than 10 7-star, 8-star, and 9-star Heavenly Venerables were indeed a bit scary, they were now at night, and they had the Great Void stage. Everyone listen up. Don't kill these women. Leave them alive. As for the other men, kill them. The Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf leader licked his lips and said, yes. Then dozens of figures rushed at them at the same time. These people were just sending themselves to their deaths. They were tools used by the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf tribe to test their strength. Let's do it. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Then 15 people rushed forward in unison. Chapter 1359. There were 15 of them, but they were also divided into 2 teams. Murong Yu's team of 6 had a very high tacit understanding. At the same time, after a few days of practice, Feng Ling's team also had some tacit understanding. It might not be a good thing to mix them up. Law of Destruction. Murong Yu was merciless. First, the Law of Destruction could easily deal with these Domain Lords, Heavenly Venerables, and even a large number of Silver Moon Heavenly Wolves below the Domain Realm. Even if they would become stronger, with an absolute realm, the law of destruction was simply an invincible existence. Second, although they were teammates with Fengling's team now, they were not on the same side. With so many monsters, it would be best for them to keep the experience. That was their own realm. Why should they give it to others? Here, killing these, Morongyu did not spend too much spiritual power. Plop. The dozens of Silvermoon heavenly wolves that rushed over instantly died. On the other side, Fengling's team was facing dozens of Silvermoon heavenly wolves with ease, but they were not as brainless as Morongyu's team. What? Seeing this scene, the other Silvermoon heavenly wolves that did not rush over were dumbfounded. What kind of F***king power was this? Why was it gone? There were also heavenly venerables. Why was it gone just like that? Fengling and the others glanced at them. They were helpless. This was one of the reasons why the 6 of them could persist, and not let them close the distance. This law of destruction was simply too brainless. Crescent heavenly charge. After seeing this scene, Fengling did not show any weakness. She gathered her strength and suddenly slashed at the large number of Silvermoon heavenly wolves in front of her. A white crescent rushed over. Law of creation. In an instant, the white crescent that looked like it was only 3 to 4 meters long instantly expanded to more than 20 meters. Wherever it went, not a single blade of grass was left. Boom! When the dust settled, the nearly 100 Silvermoon heavenly wolves that rushed over were all killed easily. However, these Silvermoon heavenly wolves were very weak. Most of them were Law Realm, and there were not many heavenly venerables. Although there were many of them, it was reasonable for them to easily deal with them. Although it was nighttime, these Silvermoon heavenly wolves' cultivation levels were too low. No matter how strong they were no match for them. However, these Silvermoon heavenly wolves were nothing more than ghosts sent to test their strength. These people were not simple. They were on a completely different level from the previous 2 batches. All of the Silvermoon heavenly wolf experts had the same thought. But so what? They were only dealing with the weakest group. The strongest among them were dozens of celestial venerables and 2 higher void cultivators. Now that it was night time, how could they fight? Everyone listen up. The leader of the Silvermoon heavenly wolf clan shouted. Split into 2 groups. Don't leave them behind. Kill them if you can. Charge with me. The leader shouted. Yes. He had seen their strength and was a little afraid. How could he let these women play with him? He didn't dare to. He was afraid that something would happen. Therefore, if he could stay, he would stay. If he couldn't, then so be it. So. After that, the chief and vice chief led a total of over 40 Empyrean-level Silvermoon heavenly wolves and charged towards the 2 groups. Xian Tong. Linging shouted. Roger. Domain open. Wang Xintong's eyes narrowed. Following that, her aura surged and the 6 people's realm soared, reaching the 10 stars Empyrean realm. Her domain was not as abnormal as Yi Tianyi's. Even if they were at the 9 stars Empyrean realm, the increase of 3 stars should be 1 star of the higher void realm. However, they couldn't break through and could only remain at the 10 stars domain realm. Still, that was a huge increase. Frost bloodline. Han Chushue's eyes bloomed with a blue light. At that moment, she looked a little like Morongyu. Following that, her beautiful hair danced wildly and a terrifying frost energy surged towards the Silvermoon heavenly wolves charging over. Frost blessing. Xiao Xinyue released her own martial skill. She didn't go up herself, but instead used Han Chushue's strength. They already had a tacit understanding of each other. They wouldn't rush up alone to fight for merit or show off. Instead, they were very willing to help each other. This was a team. Boom! The terrifying cold energy instantly froze the 20 or so people who were rushing over. Pung! Several of them were completely frozen, but a dozen of them broke through the ice. In the next moment, the Silvermoon heavenly wolves released a powerful energy that collided with them. You're courting death. The leader's target was Han Chushue's group of 6. Fengling's group was attacking the vice leader. The leader's eyes narrowed and a blood-red energy gathered in his hands, attacking together. Endless dawn. Absolute thunder of the 9th heaven. Morongyu's sky-blue eyes narrowed. Domain judgment. Pooh! In the next moment, A 10 stars Empyrean Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground, dead. That's right, this was Murongyu's domain. It was a very simple effect. If there was only one opponent in the domain and the opponent's realm was not higher than 5 stars, then in the same realm, in simple terms, if Morongyu was a 1-star Empyrean realm, and the opponent was a 5-star Empyrean realm, then after activating the Judgment domain, a terrifying power would choose that person. There was a 50% chance of instant death, a 30% chance of serious injury, and a 20% chance of nothing happening. What if there were many people? 10 Judgment. Pooh 6 Silver Moon Heavenly Wolves spat out blood. 2 of them were seriously injured, and 4 of them were instantly killed. 4 of them were very lucky to be unharmed. This domain was very powerful, but it could not be used in another realm. For example, if the opponent was in the Great Virtual Realm, then it would not trigger the instant death effect. At most, it would cause serious injury. Furthermore, it would not be too heavy. The leader's eyes narrowed. Moon attraction. Yes. Howl, following which, their muscles exploded. Their eyes turned blood red, and their strength increased rapidly. Retreat. Morongyu shouted. Following which, the space was released, and the 6 of them disappeared from their original spot. Boom! A 100-meter wide pit was formed where they were. If this power landed on them, they would definitely die. Space. Damn it. Space. The leader gritted his teeth. Without this space, they would all die. Domain Unlimited Assassination. Wu Yuhan stomped her foot, and the entire space turned pitch black. Law Unlimited Shadow Doppelganger. Swish, swish, swish. Then 20 doppelgangers of Wu Yuhan appeared. Kill. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Ah! In an instant, Wu Yuhan's doppelgangers turned into black light and shuttled back and forth at an undetectable speed. Blood spurted out from the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolves. This won't do. After the enhancement, the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolves with slightly higher realms have very strong defenses. They are only suffering from external injuries. Wu Yuhan landed beside them. Dark power ignored defensive spiritual power, but it had no effect on the opponent's physique. I'll do it. Law of Light. Wang Xintong's power erupted. In the next instant, light illuminated the darkness. Chapter 1360. What was the effect of Wang Xintong's law? Amplification. She was a support, and her power was indeed leaning toward support. In the Law of Light, her and her teammates' speed, defense, strength, and spirit would all be greatly enhanced. In an instant, the damage caused by Wu Yuhan's clone increased by a lot. Chushua freeze. Morongyu said. Roger. Domain Absolute Freeze. Whoosh! In an instant, light, ice, and darkness intertwined. Other than the 9-star and 10-star Heavenly Venerable Realm Silver Moon Heavenly Wolves that had been boosted by you, the rest were all frozen. Boom! Han Chushua's absolute ice domain, no matter how high the opponent's cultivation was able to seal them in ice. Even the Heavenly Tao could be frozen. At the very least, they could be frozen for 1 second. However, although this domain was very strong, it did not cover a large area. Otherwise, those people would not be able to escape. I'll deal with the other Silver Moon Wolves first. Destroy the law. Bang! One by one, the Silver Moon Wolves exploded. The fierce battle continued without stopping. The few Heavenly Venerables were actually suppressing their opponents to the point that they could not fight back. Even though it was the Great Void, even though it was night, their cooperation and the power of various top-notch domains were really too strong. On the other side, Feng Ling and the rest were not as fast as them, but they still dominated the battlefield. Damn it! How are these people so strong? The leader's 2-star Great Void stage power erupted. Blood surged and blasted toward Morongyu. But it was dodged by Morongyu's space. The Great Void Stage 2-star Heavenly Venerables could not suppress them because they were now under the amplification of Wang Xintong and the Law of Light. They were all 10-star Heavenly Venerables, and basically had the combat strength of a half-step into the Great Void Stage. In addition to their own strength, there were 6 Great Void Stage 1-star Heavenly Venerables. Domain Infinite Rebirth Charge. Linging shouted in a tender voice. The infinite regeneration domain was a top-tier domain. Within this domain, the user and their allies would not feel any pain if they were injured. They would instantly recover from any injuries. For example, if an arm was severed, it would instantly regenerate. Even if one was severed at the waist, as long as one's soul was still intact, they would instantly recover. Even if your heart were to explode, you would still be able to heal it instantly. In short, this could be considered an invincible domain. However, there was a restriction. You had to be in this domain to recover from your injuries. If you were already injured, activating this domain would not heal you. Although the domain was strong, it consumed a lot of spiritual energy. When Ling Ying activated this domain, they had to quickly take down their opponents with absolute power. Once the domain was activated, Han Chuxue and the others knew that their counterattack had arrived. In this domain, they could abandon all defenses and turn them into unlimited attacks. On the other side, Duan Ling Xiao and the others were looking at the battlefield. Not good. They're going to kill the leader. Duan Ling Xiao shouted. Static domain. In the next instant, Xiaoyan activated his domain towards Morongyu and the others who were caught off guard. The few of them instantly stopped moving. It was a bit like time stop, but it was more powerful than time stop. The time stop of the time attribute had little effect on those who were higher in realm. However, this domain could forcefully stop those who were a few stars higher in realm for at least a second. Chi. In the next instant, the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf leader who was at the virtualized realm was the first to break free from the domain. He directly punched at Ling Ying and penetrated her chest. Puff! Ling Ying spat out a mouthful of blood and flew out. After landing on the ground, she got up and her body quickly recovered. Bastard! Bang! Morongyu also flew over. Her chest was already dyed red with blood. Ling Ying clenched her fist and stared at them. Fortunately, she activated her own domain. Otherwise they were afraid. What are you doing? When Feng Ling saw this, she shouted at Xiao Yun. They almost killed that Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf. Xiao Yun said. Ka ka ka. Feng Ling clenched her fist. This was what made her feel disgusted. If they killed it, then so be it. However, if they died or something happened to them, then wouldn't it be her problem? It was a competition and a demon crystal. It wasn't an absolute score. So what if they took it away? Bastard! Feng Ling gritted her teeth and cursed under her breath. Fortunately, their domains were strong. Big brother! Quickly retreat. They aren't ordinary warriors. The leader shouted. Yes, even the weakest among them wasn't an ordinary warrior. Wang Xintong's spirit power was exhausted. Ling Ying's spirit power was exhausted. Morongyu's spirit power was also almost exhausted. Domain closed. Chase. Duan Lingxiao didn't waste his time here. The score was more important. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Other than Feng Ling, the other 8 people directly rushed over. Prison circle. Dark cage. Schwa. The 2 virtualized realm warriors were trapped. Myriad thunder rain. Boom. Duan Lingxiao directly used his god tier martial skill. Plop. The 2 virtualized realm warriors were seriously injured and flew out. Quick. Ling Ying's group of 6 leaned against each other. What should we do? Morongyu clenched her fist. She subconsciously wanted to attack those people because their team almost caused the deaths of her own people. Fortunately, Ling Ying's domain was there. However, they also released the static spell on the demon beasts. It couldn't be considered as attacking them. Moreover, it didn't cause any harm. Moreover, her power had the ability to cause harm. However, she was unhappy. However, she didn't have much energy to fight. They were fighting very hard and cooperating, but they didn't expect to be tricked by the other team. Space. Morongyu released the remaining spirit power and teleported the 2 leaders' bodies in front of them. Attack. In the next instant, they were about to attack. Want to snatch it? Have you asked for my permission? Xiao Yun's eyes focused. Space. Schwa. Qi. Wu Yuhan stabbed the ground with her sword, and the 2 people disappeared again. Dark shadow cage. Wu Yuhan still had a lot of spirit power left. In an instant, 9 dark cages rose from the bottom of their feet and trapped them on the spot. In the next instant, she disappeared on the spot and charged toward the two seriously injured figures, slashing her sword again. Feng Ling stood still. She didn't want to attack. She was disgusted by her teammates. Space lock. Xiao Yan instantly sealed Wu Yuhan. Space lock. In the next instant, Ling Ying and the others were also sealed. It was awkward. 9 people were trapped by Wu Yuhan, 6 people were sealed by Xiao Yan's space lock, and Morongyu's spirit power was exhausted because she used too much of the law of destruction. The 15 people couldn't move. No one wanted to let go. You guys are really daring. Attacking us is against the rules, isn't it? Duan Lingxiao said. Against the rules? Who was the one who stopped us first and almost killed us? If you guys are fine, then how is it against the rules for Wu Yuhan to trap you there? Ling Ying said angrily. Then let's see who will break free first. Arg! Duan Lingxiao roared angrily. Thunder rumbled and he broke free from the dark shadow cage with absolute strength. Then, he locked onto the 2 great virtual stage silver moon wolves without hesitation. Whoosh! Right at this moment, before Duan Lingxiao could reach them, 2 bolts of lightning struck down and killed the 2 men. Wow! I just rushed over and already got 2 great virtual stage bosses experience. Thanks a lot. Everyone was speechless. Chapter 1361. Lin Xian's aura was rising. So comfortable. He had advanced to the 9th star heavenly venerable realm as soon as he arrived. Lin Xian. When the 2 teams saw Lin Xian, one team was pleasantly surprised, while the other team was gnashing their teeth in disappointment. Duan Lingxiao and the rest felt that even if Lin Xian was not dead, he should have suffered serious injuries. Otherwise, why would he not be with them? Then UF King snatched the boss the moment you arrived? F*CKU. Lin Xian smirked as he looked at them and smiled. No need to be surprised, no need to be shocked, and no need to say that you love me. Bah. Ling Ying rolled his eyes and could not help but spit. However, when they saw Lin Xian return safely, they were really happy. Lin Xian. If you have the guts, don't move. Su Jiming pointed at Lin Xian and shouted angrily. F*CK. They were fighting like this. And then Lin Xian suddenly appeared and snatched the monster? Now that they were all imprisoned, Lin Xian was the only one who could move. I'm an idiot? Why wouldn't I move? Lin Xian took out his sacred sword. Duan Lingxiao's eyes narrowed. Then he charged directly at Lin Xian. Get lost, get lost. Lin Xian released his spatial energy and disappeared. Then he raised his sword and 2 monster crystals fell into Lin Xian's hand. Seeing this, Morongyu and the rest breathed a sigh of relief. In the end, they were still the victors. F*CK. Seeing this, Xiao Yan and the rest gritted their teeth in hatred. If Lin Xian did not come, there was a high chance that they would be the ones to take the monster crystals. Because their only spatial attribute, Morongyu, was already exhausted. Although she was controlled by Wu Yuhan, Duan Lingxiao used his powerful strength to break free. However, at the crucial moment, Lin Xian actually appeared. F*CK. They even suspected that they were deliberately hiding Lin Xian from the public. He was playing this trick on purpose. Let's all retreat. Lin Xian said indifferently. Then, they withdrew their powers and everyone regained their freedom. Damn it. They gritted their teeth and glared at Lin Xian. Let's go. Feng Ling gritted her teeth and shouted. He left just like that? Qin Ming asked. Not leaving? If you don't want to leave, then why are you staying? What can he do? Feng Ling retorted. She was not angry because the demon crystals had been snatched away. She was angry because at that time, why did her team choose to stop them? Fortunately, it didn't lead to a tragedy. Otherwise, she would feel very guilty. Even if she didn't do it, they were still teammates. Take care, I won't see you out. Lin Xian grinned. It's still early. It's hard to say who will win or lose. Feng Ling snorted coldly. Lin Xian grinned and said, The 9 of you almost lost to the 6 of you. Now that I'm back, you're still saying it's hard to say who will win or lose. If you ask me, you should just leave. Humph. Feng Ling snorted again and followed them into the distance. Bang! Linging walked over and slapped Lin Xian's back. Bastard, where have you been these few days? Lin Xian took a deep breath. Before he finished speaking, Lin Xian saw the blood on the girls' chests. What happened to you? Lin Xian showed a panicked expression. It's nothing. We were injured in Ling Ying's territory just now, but we can recover in an instant. Murong Yu said indifferently. Lin Xian let out a long sigh of relief. Tell me, where were you taken? Who are they? Why did they take you away? Why did they release you now? Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian. The other girls also stared at Lin Xian curiously. How should I put it? The demon god of the second demon god temple captured me. As for why, I really have to hand it to her. She actually took a fancy to me. As for why I was released, Lin Xian let out a long sigh and said, after my body was tainted by her, she naturally released me when she got tired of playing with me. The girls. You can scram now. Demon god? If you said it was someone else, we might have believed it. Wu Yuhan laughed coquettishly. Clearly, her sister was in charge now. F***ck. Nowadays, no one will believe the F***king truth. Lin Xian shrugged helplessly. He was really telling the truth. Tell me. I'm not talking anymore. Damn it. Murong Yu then said. Alright, since Lin Xian is back, let's officially start the battle. Okay. They were just chatting. They were all people who had a good view of the big picture and knew what was more important now. Speaking of which, how much are we in the lead now? Lin Xian asked. How do you know we're in the lead? Xiao Xinyue found it quite interesting. Nonsense, who are you? You're pretty, strong, kind-hearted, and the #1 female hero of this generation. Do you think I don't believe you? Lin Xian grinned. TSK. They rolled their eyes in unison. You must be peeking at the phone. Also, tell me who's the #1 female hero. Lin Xian. Wow. These girls are all demons. You. Lin Xian said directly. Since you said you're #1, there must be only one person. You can't say they're tied. Tell me, who is it? Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Small fry. Lin Xian. Wow. Do you want me to die? It wasn't easy for me to come back from that blissful, tooey scary place. None of you asked me if I lost weight, if I suffered, if I was beaten, and if I was tortured. Instead, you guys are here. TSK. Lin Xian then sniffed. Enough, enough. I won't fall for your tricks. Agreed. Agreed. Little Xintong, you've also learned bad things. Lin Xian glared at Wang Xintong. Wang Xintong stuck out her pink tongue. Lin Xian really didn't look at them. He really felt that even if he wasn't around, they would still be able to maintain their lead. This was Lin Xian's understanding of them. They weren't simple, especially Murong Yu. She probably hadn't even used her 1,000 ice pupils yet. How could they fall behind? Where are we going now? Lin Xian asked. Rest. Since you're here, we can go to the SSS rank forces. Other than the 2 we defeated and the SSS rank forces that Feng Ling and the others defeated, the others haven't been touched. There are still a few more. Ling Ying said. Yes, and now that we're all at 8 or 9 stars of the heavenly venerable realm, we have Lin Xian's and Xintong's domains. If we go to the SSS rank forces this time, although it's still dangerous, it'll be a bigger test for us. Han Qishua nodded. Which one is the closest? Let me see. Lin Xian then took a look. Then they saw Feng Ling and the others heading there. Feng Ling and the others must have seen that you're back and are feeling more pressure. They're heading straight for the SSS rank forces. Let's go around them. This time, if nothing goes wrong, we'll definitely win. Chapter 1362. It had to be said that when Lin Xian joined them, they finally understood who the backbone of the team was. Originally, when Lin Xian was around, they felt that he was strong. They couldn't really tell how strong he was. After Lin Xian left, they could clearly feel how much the team's combat power had weakened. However, when they were almost used to it, when Lin Xian joined them again, they completely felt how much the addition of Lin Xian alone had improved their overall strength. Well, as a man, and this was what he should do. And that's right. If a man wasn't that strong, he wouldn't be worthy of being their man. Why were they thinking about them and not him? F***ck. Among these girls, only Lin Xian hadn't won over Xiao Xingyue. However, Lin Xian felt that it was about time. He just lacked an opportunity to be alone with Xiao Xingyue. If he had this opportunity, Lin Xian felt that he could win her over. After all, they had known each other for so long. Look, Xiao Xingyue wasn't looking for a boyfriend. Wasn't she waiting for Lin Xian to confess? In any case, that was what Lin Xian felt. 5 days passed just like that. Their speed was already very fast. It was so fast that Feng Ling's team had completely lost the confidence to chase after them. Phew, Lin Xian was back, so when they rested, they once again used Lin Xian's law of creation to eat hot pot. Eating hot pot in this world of ice and snow was simply too enjoyable. They still liked it when Lin Xian was around. There was laughter, and it was especially relaxed. Although Lin Xian was the same age as them, no, he was even younger than them except for Wang Xintong. They inexplicably felt at ease when he was around. Perhaps this was the sense of security. We're already far ahead of them. If this continues, we can definitely get into the top 10. Every one of us can enter. Wang Xintong said excitedly. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. You guys are too strong. Lin Xian said with a smile. Go away, you're so annoying. They rolled their eyes. Lin Xian. F***ck. It was so difficult to be a man. If you praised them, they would roll their eyes at you. It was so difficult for him. Wow. The days to come. Sob sob sob. However, Lin Xian then changed the topic. He frowned and said, I'm always worried that something unexpected will happen. Lin Xian was already used to the days where no matter what he did, things would not go smoothly. Really, no matter what he did, Lin Xian always felt that there would be an accident. There was no other way. Perhaps this was the life of a protagonist? Could it be that those who were handsome had to go through these trials? But, what other accidents can we encounter? Murongyu said with a frown. I don't know either. We also encountered the Evil Fiend Hall. Now we can be considered members of the Evil Fiend Hall. However, they don't know that you have already developed an antidote for the poison pill that controls our lives. Therefore, the Evil Fiend Hall probably won't attack us. Murongyu said. Then that leaves the Fey. The Fey God Hall? Didn't you say that the people who took you away were from the Fey God Hall? Does that mean we don't have to worry about the Fey God Hall members? Ling Ying said. Although they had said that Lin Xian was bragging, to be honest, they still believed that Lin Xian had indeed been taken away by the Fey God Hall. This was because other than the Great Void Realm, there was also a Heavenly Dao Realm expert. That was terrifying. In this place, only the Fey God Hall could produce a Heavenly Dao Realm expert. Anyway, they didn't know how Lin Xian could come out alive, but he definitely had his reasons. They didn't ask too much. I don't know either. Besides, the Fey God Halls aren't united. The Myriad Demon Alliance is an organization of the Fey God Hall, but the 10 Fey God Halls are separated. They don't have any contact even if they don't want to. Just because one Fey God Hall doesn't deal with me doesn't mean that the other Fey God Halls won't. Although this place is thousands of miles away, it's still easy for the Fey God Halls to come here, Lin Xian said. Besides, what else was he worried about? Zhao Mingyue, that idiot. Lin Xian had always been afraid of this woman. The main reason was that she was shameless to a certain extent. However, on second thought, she was probably trying her best to gather the 12 demon gods. She probably didn't have the time to deal with him. Besides, Feng Ling's team didn't seem to be able to beat them, so what else was there to worry about? Forget it. Let's not think about it. Lin Xian shook his head. Don't worry too much. There's still us. Han Chuxue said in a soft voice. Although none of them admitted it, which girl didn't know in her heart? It was likely that any girl they saw beside Lin Xian, as long as they were slightly prettier, had been slept with by Lin Xian. There was no other way. He was a scumbag. However, the strange thing was that this Lin Xian wasn't that handsome. They just liked him a lot and couldn't leave him. They were even bullied by him. Ah, so annoying. How much are we leading now? Lin Xian asked. A few 100,000 points. Xiao Xinyue's casual words made Lin Xian not want to ask anymore. A few 100,000 points. That's right. This was the last round of the assessment. The points difference was so terrifying. Why was there such a big gap? Actually, it was very simple. The gap was due to the SSS rank forces. An SSS rank force was 200,000 points. In the past 5 days, they had been attacking SSS rank forces and on the way. They didn't even bother with the SSS rank forces on the way. The other party was also desperately fighting over SSS rank forces. After all, if they didn't fight, they wouldn't be able to win. However, in terms of speed, they were completely left behind by Lin Xian's team. As for the points, they estimated it based on the forces on both sides' maps. We've already lost. Late at night, Feng Ling's team rested for 1 or 2 hours. A few of them lay there, a few of them ate or chatted. Xiao Yun and Duanling Xiao came to the edge of the snowy cliff to smoke. We've already lost. Duanling Xiao's eyes were filled with unwillingness as he said, "No, we haven't lost yet." Xiao Yun said, "Haven't lost yet? A few 100,000 points difference. We can't make up for it. Moreover, this difference will only get bigger and bigger. The 7 of them have already occupied the top 7. Among the 9 of us, if the other teams don't have higher points than us, 3 of us can still advance." Duanling Xiao said, "I've already found someone." Xiao Yun's eyes focused. Xiao Yun said, "So what if Lin Xian had joined the evil divine shrine? He had to go to the God's awakening door. He definitely couldn't let this Lin Xian go. Otherwise he would never be able to catch up." Chapter 1363. Between Lin Xian and Xiao Yun, or even the Xiao family, which one was more beneficial to the evil fiend temple? Without a doubt, it was Lin Xian. What did the Xiao family have? Experts. Money. What did Lin Xian have? Everyone could see his limitless future, and the terrifying Yixian group. As for experts, did he have fewer experts than the Xiao family? Just the Azura Palace, how many experts did the Yixian group attract? Without a doubt, Lin Xian's value was much higher than the Xiao family's. Therefore, Xiao Yun naturally wouldn't ask the evil fiend temple to kill Lin Xian. They couldn't kill Lin Xian, even if they wanted to kill Xiao Yun. Therefore, who did he ask? The Xiao family. The Xiao family would definitely consider the problem from the Xiao family's point of view. By killing Lin Xian and stopping them, Xiao Yun would have a chance to enter the God's awakening door. At the same time, they would have one less strong opponent. Once Lin Xian joined the evil fiend sect, there would only be one outcome for the Xiao family. The evil fiend sect would pay less and less attention to the Xiao family and support Lin Xian and the Yixian group. At that time, the Xiao family would be nothing in front of Lin Xian. They might even be sacrificed. As for Lin Xian, they already had a grudge. If he had a higher position in the evil fiend temple, it would be hard for the Xiao family. Therefore, the Xiao family was naturally willing to take advantage of this opportunity to deal with Lin Xian. If he came out of the God's awakening door later, he would definitely be in the absolute void stage. The space, time, creation, destruction of the absolute void stage. How could they have a chance to kill him? "You're from the Xiao family?" Duanling Xiao asked. Yes. The Xiao family sent no less than 5 absolute void stage experts this time. What's the use of absolute void stage? They've already defeated so many SSS-ranked forces. Absolute void stage experts are nothing in front of them. Duanling Xiao said. At the very least, he felt that the 5 stars of the Great Void Stage were useless. Even if there were 5 Great Void Stage experts, they could not even compare to an SSS rank force. Don't worry. This time, not only does the Xiao clan have a spatial realm cultivator, but they also have a rank 8 Great Void Stage cultivator. I don't believe that a rank 8 Great Void Stage cultivator can't deal with them. 8th level of the Great Void Stage. Duanling Xiao frowned. Was the 8th level of the Great Void Stage really enough? After all, the SSS rank force they were fighting also had experts at the 6th level of the Great Void Stage. The 8th level of the Great Void Stage was 2 levels higher than the 6th level. Although the 8th level of the Great Void Stage was much stronger than the 6th level, he didn't think that Lin Xian and the others would use their full strength. That's right, the 8th level of the Great Void Stage was almost 10 levels higher than them. However, Duan Lingxiao still felt that it was not safe. This was enough to show how strong Lin Xian was in his heart. Although he didn't want to admit that he was strong, he had to admit that he was. Otherwise, he wouldn't have lost to Lin Xian so many times. Not enough. Duan Lingxiao sighed. Still not enough. Only those at the heavenly Dao realm are safe. I really feel that the 8th level is not enough. If it was in the past, it would have been enough. But now their cultivation realms should generally be at the 9th level of the Empyrean realm. 9 stars of the Empyrean realm. The people we sent are at the 8th level of the Great Void Stage. Isn't that enough? Xiaoyan said. Then why were they able to defeat an SSS rank force? An SSS rank force should have existences at the 6th or 7th level of the Great Void Stage, right? But the Fey race doesn't have laws or domains. Xiaoyan said. This. Duan Lingxiao pondered for a moment. This was also reasonable. If a warrior's laws or domains were strong, it was a completely different concept. The Fey race had strong physiques, but only the top ones had laws and domains. As for humans, as long as they could comprehend them, they would have them. Furthermore, their 5 Great Void Stage laws and domains are definitely enough to kill Lin Xian. I hope so. Time slowly passed. Another 2 days passed. Lin Xian and company continued to lead with an absolute advantage. Although the experts from the 3 factions could not see it, they could see the map of the factions' territories. That gave them a rough idea of the gap between them. Lin Xian's team has far exceeded Fengling's team. If nothing unexpected happens, with a difference of hundreds of thousands, Lin Xian's team of 7 should be the final winners. The other 3 spots should normally be given to Fengling's team. Murong Feng pondered for a moment before saying. The gap is rather obvious. That punk Lin Xian is indeed strong. That's right. It's not only Lin Xian who is strong. Lin Xian's team of 7 is generally stronger than Fengling's team. That's not right. It's hard to say. Fengling's team has quite a number of strong people. Look at you. Xiao Zun looked at his eldest daughter, and could not help but criticize her. Xiao Runing was ultimately innocent. She was sitting there playing with her cell phone and eating snacks. Why did her father come over and criticize her? I say, Dad, what's the matter? Are you being bullied by Mom again? Don't vent your anger on me, Xiao Runing said helplessly. I mean, I just came back from the temple master's place and saw the current situation. How is it? Xiao Runing hurriedly asked. Right now Lin Xian's team is leading by a large margin. The 7 of them should be able to enter the God's Awakening door. Like I said, they definitely won't have a problem. Xiao Runing ate a potato chip. You're still eating. You're almost not good enough for Lin Xian. Xiao Zun glared at his eldest daughter. Xiao Runing. This was really a F*King's sad story. Anyway, he doesn't need me. Xiao Runing mumbled. Xiao Zun then sat beside her and asked, I say this Lin Xian has quite a few girlfriends, right? What? Are you jealous? Xiao Zun. How can you talk to your dad like that? If you really like him, your mom and I won't reject him. After all, it's normal for a capable person to have multiple wives. And the fact is, this Lin Xian is indeed very capable. But don't be wronged. If you don't want to, then break up. I know. On the other side, Lin Xian's team was walking in the snow. At this moment, a rare storm had erupted in the North Pole. This storm was so terrifying that if they didn't release their spiritual energy, it would be difficult for them to move forward. In any case, they couldn't open their eyes. The wind and snow were a little painful when it hit their faces. The visibility was only 4 to 5 meters. The wind and snow were too strong. This is so annoying. Lin Xian, hurry up and release your space to send us away. This place is too uncomfortable. Ling Ying pulled Lin Xian's clothes and shouted. It's no use. This is a storm in the North Pole. Once the storm starts, the entire North Pole will be covered in this kind of snow. It's the same no matter where we go. Murong Yu then said. Let's find a place to take shelter from the wind. It might last for 2 or 3 days. The girls. Then what should we do? 2 or 3 days. If this was the case, then the journey would be extremely difficult. There's a way. We can attack a certain force and take shelter from the wind and snow. At this moment, the Xiao family was very uncomfortable. Chapter 1364. Why did they feel so uncomfortable? Xiao Yin had secretly provided them with Lin Xian's location, and they knew his approximate location on the map. Then this F*King blizzard came. In such a blizzard, they might not be able to discover each other even if they were dozens of meters apart. That's right, they were really 100 meters apart, and it was even a flat ground. Then they brushed past each other. There was no other way. Even if they spoke, they wouldn't be able to hear it. It was too noisy. Their ears were filled with the sound of the blizzard. Even if they released their divine senses, under such circumstances, their divine senses would be completely disrupted. Hey, wait. At this moment, Lin Xian, who was walking at the front, suddenly stopped in his tracks. What's wrong? A few girls gathered around Lin Xian. They were wearing down jackets and hats. Some of them were wearing their own hats, little white bunny hats and bear hats. To be honest, they were so cute. He really wanted to have sex with them. Footprints. Lin Xian looked in front of him. Although the blizzard was very strong, it wasn't to the extent of covering 10 centimeters of footprints in a few seconds. The main reason was that the strong wind made the heavy snow especially uncomfortable. Aren't footprints very normal? Ling Ying said. That's why people say that you have big boobs but no brains. These are the footprints just now. Look at the map again. Lin Xian rolled his eyes and said. Han Chuxua held her phone and said. The map shows that there's no one around us. Because they could see the position of every contestant, Han Chuxua subconsciously looked at her phone when she saw the footprints. However, she found that there were no other teams around them. So the people in front of us, they're not contestants. Lin Xian said. Hearing Lin Xian's words, they suddenly frowned. Because one had to know, how could there be people in such a place under normal circumstances? They were extremely deep in the North Pole. This wasn't the North Pole near the edge of a city. They were so deep in the North Pole, and from the footprints, they could even tell that there were 5 people. Moreover, in the midst of a blizzard, they didn't choose to hide from the snow? As participants, Lin Xian and the others didn't hide from the snow because they didn't want to waste time. They were fighting for the points, but these people weren't right. In such a deep place, it was impossible to find any martial artists who came out to train. That was impossible. This place was thousands of kilometers away from Ice Snow City. That was definitely a place with few people. Furthermore, it was a world of ice and snow, and there weren't many demonic beasts. It was different from the outside of Tianhua City. Come out to train? Impossible. Could it be that the demon clan has transformed into a human? Xiao Xinhua said. Lin Xian nodded. It's possible, but it's also possible that they're here to look for us. Lin Xian had long felt that things wouldn't go so smoothly. Moreover, he was already used to being targeted. Because of this habit, whenever something went smoothly, he would feel that something was wrong. It was only right that things didn't go smoothly. Then what should we do now? Wang Xintong moved to Lin Xian's side and shrunk her little head that was wearing a furry rabbit hat. They're probably only a few hundred meters away from us. They didn't discover us because of this huge blizzard. We're all 8 or 9 stars heavenly venerables. Our divine senses are also very clear. In such an environment, it's completely useless. Therefore, their divine senses are probably the same as ours. In such an environment, it's useless. However, we need to figure out who they are first. Lin Xian stood in the same spot and muttered to himself. Do you suspect that some participants used their phones to find out our location, and then sent people to attack us? Morong Yu asked. Little Yu, you're smart and big-chested, unlike a certain someone. Ling Ying, damn it. She wanted to bite him to death. It's possible. In such a big place, we can even brush past each other in this blizzard. This place is also so remote. They're not participants yet. Perhaps they're looking for us, but the map can't accurately pinpoint our location. The coordinates are only a few kilometers away. It's because of the blizzard that they're unable to find us. Morong Yu muttered. Could it be Xiao Yin and the others? Lin Xian nodded. There's a high chance that they can only stop us from gaining points if we die. Only then can they enter the God's awakening door. However, it shouldn't be all of them. It's just a few of them. Then, what should we do now? Lin Xian said. Now we just need to appear in front of them to know who they are. If they attacked or had the intention to attack, then they were definitely enemies. Lin Xian could even see if they were from the devil race or the human race. No, it's too dangerous. Let's go together. There are 5 of them. If they're enemies, they'll definitely know that we have the spatial attribute. They'll definitely send a spatial attribute cultivator. Morongyu said. If we go together, how can we ambush them? If they're enemies, since they know that we have the spatial attribute, they'll definitely know that there are 7 of us together. They'll definitely send a force that can kill us. There's still a week's time. If we don't deal with them, we'll definitely encounter them. Lin Xian said. But it's too dangerous. Lin Xian said with a smile. It's fine. Don't forget that I have the law of creation. Now the enemies are in the open while we're in the dark. Give me time, and I'll be able to use the law of creation to create a spatial energy that'll be enough for me to escape. I'll condense it in advance. All right. Hearing Lin Xian's words, they were relieved. The law of creation wasn't just for show. Also, let's find a location. When the time comes, I'll lure them over and kill them directly. How do we kill them? Sisters, we have a pile of spiritual tools, some top-grade tools, and the law of destruction. Give us time, and we'll be able to condense a force that can kill them, right? Lin Xian rolled his eyes and said. Understood. And let's hide. If they're looking for us, they can only be within a radius of a few kilometers. It's not big, but it's not small either. In this weather, we have an advantage. Don't wander around, lest you expose our footprints to them. Lin Xian said. Okay. After that, they found a place with a lot of wind and snow. They could not go to the back of the mountain, as the back of the mountain would be easily discovered. Then the few of them created an array formation there, condensing the cold energy, dark energy, thunder and destruction that they were constantly releasing. As Lin Xian helped them create, he also created a bead for himself. This bead, Lin Xian continuously condensed his spatial energy. Time slowly passed, and they didn't even know if the other party was still there. I'm going, Lin Xian said to the girls. Be careful that you're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.